every
But
single day.
I also don't owe anybody an explanation.
No, I don't think you owe anybody anything. From my perspective, I do a political talk show, and I like to talk to people and pick their brain and figure out why they voted a certain way, why they feel a certain way. And if people don't want to answer it, they don't have to answer it, right? But that's what I do for a living. So agree or disagree.
Here we go. Brian Shapiro had on the Raging Tomato so they could hard launch their relationship. However, it didn't go quite as planned, as we'll see. Here we go.
And I thought it was very forthcoming and cool, and we exchanged some emails. He enjoyed himself, so he will definitely be back.
Oh, they're talking about Hunter Biden? Yeah, my new friend, Hunter Biden. He's my pal. Hunter's going to be one of the names that he drops. I just collected a new name I could drop
on at some point down the road. So we really appreciate that. Check it out. Check out the interview on YouTube. Okay, so without further ado, I get invited to a lot of different podcasts, a lot of different shows.
I like how he calls her show a podcast. It's not a podcast, but he's a boomer. He calls anything that's any online show a podcast.
Can't always do them. I'm a wreck. Anybody who knows me knows I probably work a little bit too much, and I can't do all these shows. But one of the shows that I have done, her name is Sara, and she's known as the Raging Tomato, and you might have seen some of her work on social media. And I've done her podcast multiple times, and I've actually had a lot of fun. And Sara the Raging Tomato, as I mentioned yesterday, joining us in studio right now. Sara, thanks so much for being here. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Brian. How are you?
Good. So you're like the professional moderator, right?
Yeah.
That's like what you do on social media. You moderate all these political debates, but you're involved in politics yourself. Can you give people a little bit of background?
Oh, man. Yeah, the caller, like I said, his audience hates her, and they started insulting her. And they even said, like, man, someone said something. She's high on or she's on mega something. But basically they started saying she looks like Trump. I was like dying.
Like you're correct me if I'm wrong, just to give people a little bit of background. You're a conservative. Would you consider yourself MAGA?
I mean, I don't really claim titles to much of anything.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the MAGA movement, Make America Great Again. I respect the sentiment in terms of wanting to get back to foundational and more traditional concepts in America, but I wouldn't say like I'm going to jump on the bandwagon and woo woo.
But you're a Trump supporter. Is that fair? Or you voted for him?
I voted for him.
Do you think that's what he's doing right now? Is he getting us back to that point? Like, what do you think of what he's done over the course of the last, 20 months or so? I know you're like a moderator and you're not necessarily a debater, but I'm trying to pick your brain just so the listeners have a sense of, what kind of like your ideology and where you're coming from, if that makes sense. Because we will take calls later, and don't worry, they'll probably call me a lot of names. They won't be calling you names. That's a daily thing for me. And trust me, I enjoy it and I'm always ready for it. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think here's what I'll say, like right-wing base, and I think Trump kind of stands in
Look at that mug, Brian. Brian's mug, his grandma mug.
This direction too, is very supportive of military, law enforcement, anybody that's a civil servant of some sort, right? So I think that I've seen a lot of that in my observations of him standing behind them.
Brian is already seething inside, thinking he's very supportive of law enforcement. Well, how come? How come he called people who beat cops on January 6th hostages and patriots? Do you think that's someone that's very supportive of law enforcement? He's thinking that inside, but he's trying to hold it together because he likes Sara. And which he does, like he's actually takes it very easy on her. Like for someone who's like conservative or right-leaning, Brian takes it very easy on her.
I come from a military background, myself, my brothers, my dad. So anybody that takes on the military reins and wants to support them and support our troops kind of concept and pushing them, I don't know, how would you say it? I would say, I don't know, just supporting them.
So I think when I think of a hero that comes to mind for me, I think of John McCain. And in my lifetime, I think the best moment in politics for me was when that a crazy old lady took the microphone and said, Barack Hussein Obama, he's an Arab, or she had said something along those lines, and it was disrespectful. John McCain takes the microphone out of her hands, and this was when he was running for president against Obama, of course, and he said, no, ma'am. Barack Obama is a decent man. He's a good family man. We just happen to disagree on policy. And I said to myself, wow, what a nice moment in political history. And at that moment, listen, I love Obama. I was going to vote for him. But then at that moment, I said to myself, you know what? I'm okay with either of these men winning. I can't stand Sarah Palin. I think she's a dummy. Okay. But I respect John McCain. I always will respect the late John McCain. And I feel like we've lost that. And I feel like a lot of the brunt of that responsibility, not all of it, but a lot of it is Donald Trump. He has nicknames for people that he disagrees with, attacking women on looks, attacking Gold Star families. I don't respect John McCain because he was captured. Whether you believe it or not, the suckers and losers comment, and I do believe he did make that statement.
Trump has a backbone. Why are you mad at that?
Well, it's calling our.
I have no problem with somebody
calling our troops suckers and losers.
Yeah, I have no issue with people talking.
Trouble in paradise already. You have no problem with that? You know, maybe it was a bad idea getting on the digital social hour with Sean Kelly. Maybe it was a bad idea. You know, give me those contacts back.
And saying talking stuff and saying what they need to say.
Okay, but to me, when you say talking, that's among friends. I'll tell you, this is a line, and this is my opinion, a line that you should never cross. Listen, I can't stand J.D. Vance. I think he's a bad guy, okay? But I respect his service. I can't stand Ron DeSantis, okay? I don't like him. I think he's a bad guy. I respect his service. I would never crap on somebody's military service. When Donald Trump, who, by the way, dodged the military 5 times, said, I tend to not respect people who were captured, in mocking John McCain, who was a POW, who wouldn't leave his people behind for 5 years. To me, that's not talking blank. To me, that's just beyond repugnant. And the commander-in-chief or anybody in elected office or anybody, frankly, who's not even, I just think that's a line that
you're just going to see a Brian show. You shouldn't have done what you did. All right. Any people that subscribe to her channel, unsubscribe now. Like 2 people.
That nobody shouldn't
have done what you did.
Someone who dodged the military. Do you get that perspective? Like talking smack about somebody is one thing, but attacking somebody's service as a POW, I just think that should have been disqualifying for president. Am I wrong in thinking that?
I mean, it's Trump. He says a lot of things about a lot of people. I don't know if you would disqualify it, but yeah, I'm not going to come back. I'm not going to stick up. I'm not going to stick up for him for whether he said or didn't say something.
So I get this conversation a lot. And I say, boy, I don't know if you could be a braver man or woman in uniform. And I don't know how you could vote for this guy. I hear that about the gay community. I hear that about minorities and about women.
Sarah, I don't know if you know, but you're a woman. Why would you agree with a man who's found guilty or found liable of sexual abuse, who was raw dogging Stormy Daniels a week before Barron Trump was born? Real Detroit Dabbler, thank you very much for $4.99. Brian brought up the UFC controversy, and I was going to super chat him why he's such a Michelle Obama mushroom gobbler, but I figured he wouldn't read it. Oh, yeah, he wouldn't read it. But that's hilarious. So thank you very much, Detroit Dabbler.
I look at, and I understand some people value policy, I guess, different than some of the personal stuff, but I ask all women this question, and I say, okay, look at the way he's treated women his whole life. The cheating, the lying, the liable sexual abuse, the unprotected sex he had with Stormy Daniels 2 weeks after Barron was born. And I say, as a woman, as a conservative woman, as a Republican, I understand you don't like Democrat policy, but is it difficult to?
I don't know why you're trying to get me to like defend Trump, like my daddy or something. No, right? No. Like, well, I see where you're going with the conversation, trying to do that. Right?
I'm just trying to get your perspective.
That's his personal problems. I'm not his wife. I'm not his father. I'm not his daughter. Right? Whatever he does in his personal life does not affect me in that aspect. I'm not going to defend his stupidity. If you think he's being, bad things, whatever, I'm not going to defend that. I owe him nothing. right? I look at what is he doing for the country, if that's the concept there. I look at why I voted for him, so on and so forth. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a right winger, and I definitely would never vote left. So like, it wouldn't even.
Look how pissed Brian looks. Oh yeah. You unhitch your wagon off of me. We're done. Kyle swam the now. Thank you very much for $2. Donald Trump. Yeah, exactly. That's all this guy knows. He just knows how to spurg about Trump. Look how mad he looks, though. He's just like, I wined and dined you, took you to the. I bought you $1,000 steak dinner, and this is how you're going to come to my show and defend that 34 count felon.
Matter, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, he treats women bad, so therefore I'm a woman, so I should hate Trump. I'm not going to say that. I think that's foolish.
Well, I hate him for a lot of different reasons.
But you're putting in like an overgeneralization on somebody's personal life, and I just don't care, right? I could say this about every single person. I could run down the line, any famous people down to your next door neighbor.
Right, but
you could find 20 million bad things that they've done. You can call them trash.
I understand that, but your next door neighbor is not the president of the United States or an elected official. I agree with you.
Well, how far does the scale go then? In terms of, if you're going to hold him to that standard,
he's the
right? Do you surround yourself by people who have absolutely outstanding morals and values?
I wouldn't surround myself around someone who's in the Epstein files 40,000 times. I wouldn't surround myself.
No, that's not, you're getting out of the question. Would you surround, do you right now surround yourself by people who have absolutely upstanding morals and values? And you can put money on it that they will always make the right decision. They'll always be good people.
Of course not. But I don't surround myself around. Of course not. Nobody's perfect. But I don't surround myself around people that brag about sexually assaulting women. I don't surround myself around people that go into teenage girls' locker rooms without their permission. I don't surround myself around people that constantly degrade minorities, women, so on and so forth. Now, nobody's perfect. I completely agree with you. But I do think it's a different standard if you're talking about your neighbor or maybe people that you might associate with. And I just think, and I'm talking about Democrats and Republicans now, I think there should be a higher standard for people in public office. Like, for example, Eric Swalwell, who I'm sure you were never a fan of. I am no longer a fan of him either. He's a scumbag. Why do I say that? He was caught with hookers.
Every time he denounces like someone on the left and says, oh, horrible person like Bill Clinton or Eric Swalwell, I would just ask him, okay, well, hypothetical elections going on right now. Who would you vote for, Trump or Eric Swalwell? He's probably going to say Eric Swalwell, because he already admitted that once, where it's like, who would you vote for, Bill Clinton or Donald Trump? Because he would be like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Bill Clinton has done horrible things to women. And maybe young people, young girls or whatever. It's like, oh, okay. Well, then who would you vote for, Bill Clinton or Donald Trump? Bill Clinton.
I don't know whether he committed any crimes or not, but he's a scumbag. Mm-hmm. And I look at not all, but most of the Democrats that are in office today immediately called him out and demanded that he step down, demanded it. And I've heard Republicans for years talk about the Hollywood elitists and the Epstein files and Bill Gates and Bill Clinton and all these people. And then all of a sudden, Donald Trump's in there, and I understand he hasn't been found criminal, but he's in there a bunch of times. And now he calls us all stupid just for talking about it. And I listen, everybody votes differently, right? So let's put the personal stuff to the side.
Sarah, you can tell Sarah's also already regretting her decision. She's like, bucko, what did I get myself into? Okay, just be nice to him until he could get you on Piers Morgan or Tim Pool, and then once you get on there, just cut him off. So great, thank you very much for the $5. I've won Bryce Shot Bingo 15 times already. I'm hammered. Well, there you go. Good job, So Crates. Thank you very much for the $5. Yeah, very true, Vic. Yeah, exactly. He's thinking like, this stupid raising Trump. God, I made a mistake getting her on Digital Social Hour. And she's like, bucko, I really made a mistake here. I'll tolerate this guy a little bit longer up until he gets me on Piers Morgan or Tim Pool. And then that's when I'll distance myself and see if I could attach my wagon to someone else.
know my feelings on Donald Trump personally. I think he's an awful human being, and I don't want awful people representing anybody. But let's put that off to the side. You had mentioned why you voted for him and what you thought he was going to do. How would you rate him? I don't know. The first, what is it? Has it been 20 months yet? Right? Almost 2 years.
I don't know.
About 20 something on. Like, how would you? Has he done what you thought he was going to do?
I mean, so far, I only pay attention to what obviously trickles down to my show, right? All of the policies that people are arguing over. I was kind of excited about the birthright citizenship conversation, right? And that being pushing over to the Supreme Court and so on and so forth. Right. I'm okay with us going to war. I'm okay with us going boom, boom. Because I think we've not had a backbone for many years. And I think him sticking up and having one is a solid foundation, and we can, right? What are you going to do? Stop us? No. I'm okay with that. Sometimes you have to put the pew-pews out there. You
could say guns on the show.
Yeah, well, I get so used to it.
TikTok
what else was there? There, like another major thing. I'm trying to think. We've gone through so many of them.
Well, can I ask you something? Because you just listened to the interview I just did with Ron Filipkowski. Obviously, he's against this war in Iran, right? I am as well. There's a lot of Republicans out there that are not happy with the way this thing turned out, and I don't believe it's over yet. I don't have any sympathy for the Ayatollah and the regime, even though I would also argue that the new regime now, and you've heard me talk about this before, the new regime now, you can make the argument, is more capable and more radical than the prior. They're younger. You have the Ayatollah's son. And now we look at where the Strait of Hormuz is at now, and we look at the concessions that we have given, not Iran. I still don't know. Allegedly, they're going to let inspectors in there, as Ron pointed out, but there's no paperwork. There's no evidence that they agreed to anything. They're saying they didn't, and they're getting all this money. And I'm like, I want America to win, regardless of who the president is. You know how much I dislike Trump, but I don't want us to lose a war, right? Just like I didn't want us to lose the war in Iraq when we learned that there was no weapons of mass destruction. It was awful, right? I'm happy Saddam Hussein's gone. Terrible person. I'm happy the Ayatollah's gone, right? Of course I am. But I just look at like the positives and negatives here. And the perception, I guess, that I see is that we have not won this war. And Iran is getting everything that they wanted. What is your perspective on that?
Bucko. Night Captain Sean, thank you very much for the $5. Sarah hitched her wagon to a horse that can only go 34 counts of miles and has TDS Tourette's. Yeah, pretty much. She's regretting her decisions. Thank you very much. When are we going to see the lawsuit versus the restraining order? Liked and reposted on X. Vic, thank you very much, Clayton. I appreciate it. And yes, Socrates, it is a Modelo that I'm drinking.
I have a thought process that for our leadership, right? A lot of people are judgmental of Trump and the administration making decisions on going to war and why we're doing it and how we're doing it, what's coming out of it. If you don't trust your leaders and show the respect and just know that there's probably more behind the curtain, right? Then how can we let them actually get their
her arms look bigger than Brian's.
Jobs done? I'm kind of in that wheelhouse of, at this point, okay, you don't like it, fine, let them do it. They're in that position for a reason, right?
Who are you talking about? Are you talking about like
Trump and like the whole Trump administration and going to the war, and even from start to finish. Like, at what point do we just trust our leaders? And
you're not going to like my answer. You're not going to like my answer. I don't trust anything out of this administration because they've constantly lied to us. We were told we were going to get $5,000 DOGE checks. We didn't get them. We were told that we were going to get stimulus checks. We never got them. We were told that DOGE was going to find all this fraud. They find a minuscule fraction of the fraud that they claimed they were going to. Donald Trump said he was going to end the war within 24 hours in Ukraine. He lied to us. He said all he had to do was pick up the phone. He said that in almost every campaign rally. He lied. He said he would be a peace president. So let me at least say this. If Donald Trump talked harsh on Iran as he was running for president, I still might not agree with it, but at least I could say, okay, he was being honest. He literally said verbatim, I'm going to be a peace president. There will be no regime change. I will not start any new wars. In fact, he criticized Obama And he said Biden was going to start a war in Iran. So my perspective is, regardless of whether you're for this war or not, and listen, I understand that there's differences of opinion, right? Some people are going to be for it, some people are against it. He said he wasn't going to start a war, right? And again, I also understand presidents lie sometimes. I get that, and false promises. But I go back to 2015. We're going to build a wall, and Mexico's going to pay for it. I'm going to hire a special prosecutor to go after Hillary Clinton. So I think trust, whether it's in a personal relationship or a friend,
Sarah has the ick.
Friendship or the president of the United States, is something that is earned. Okay. You earn trust from the American people when you tell us the truth and you follow through on your promises. And from my perspective, the only thing that he's followed through on, quite frankly, is pardoning a bunch of January 6th insurrectionists.
Where's the political standard, though? I gave you fair warning. Like, I don't like talking politics. I absolutely hate talking politics.
Well, I understand you're a moderator.
I enjoy just having the.
I don't like talking. I don't like talking politics. Yeah, and I'm not a debater. So there you go.
The moderating them, right? But I enjoy watching and listening, but I don't care to talk about it. But the thought process here, you're saying,
but she's on a political show.
We lost our trust and they needed to earn it, and so on and so forth. And what political, like, where in politics in general, where's the standard? They're all liars. Like, at what point do you just sit back and you say, you know what? I recognize that they're all going to do one thing or another. They're going to lie. This is going to happen. We might get what we want out of this. We might get a promise kept, so on and so forth. I'm either going to vote right, I'm going to vote left, but they're going to do what they're going to do. I can make my voices, I can express my opinions, but at the end of the day, you have to trust the process is already processing without you even being a part of it. Politics are politics. It's all one big scheme at the end of the day.
Well, right. Of course, it's our duty, though, or at least mine, to and anybody in
call
the
out
media
Trump.
to be able to criticize politicians, whether you're the president, whether you're on the left or the right.
Specifically Trump. It is my duty to criticize Trump any chance I get.
I also agree that, yes, there are a lot of politicians out there that are not always honest and they make false promises. I get that. But I think there are different levels of lies. And I'll give you one, and then we can move on and we can get to some audio, and then we can take some phone calls and have some fun.
Let's see. What lie is he going to say that Trump told? Let's see.
And I believe I'm going to be debating Dinesh D'Souza on this coming up soon.
I'm excited for that.
I don't think
he's going to be debating Dinesh D'Souza. Holy shit. That's going to be good. That's going to be good. Dude. I'm not even a huge Dinesh D'Souza fan, but I know that he's going to whoop Brian's ass.
I've announced that yet, but I'll announce it now. And Dinesh is a perfect example of what I'm about to say. A big lie was, I won the election in a landslide. It was rigged. The Democrats cheated.
There it is. That's the big lie.
That was a lie. And it still is a lie to this day. He's the only president, and this is a big lie. He's the only president in American history that has not conceded an election. We had something called January 6th, an embarrassment to this country.
Look at Sarah. You can just see it on her face. She's just like, oh my gosh, what the hell did I get myself into? She has the ick. Kung Fu Joe. Hey, good to see you, Kung Fu Joe, for the $5. It felt great to tell Sarah to kick rocks when she approached me to have a debate on her channel. No, ma'am. Nice. Good job, Kung Fu Joe. Gave her a Kung Fu kick, I trust. Thank you very much for the $5. Good seeing you in here.
It doesn't happen if Donald Trump doesn't lie about the election. So I get what you are saying, that you're always going to have people that are going to be dishonest. There are people that are going to lie. Politicians make false promises in a lot of situations. They'll say certain things because they want to be elected. Yeah, in a general sense, I do agree with you. But I also believe that this is unprecedented territory that we're in right now. And, you know, the last war that was ill-advised, you want to talk about a lie, it was George W. Bush. You know, we went to Iraq based on, they claimed faulty intelligence. I don't know if I believe that there were weapons of mass destruction. And listen, some Democrats voted for it too. They believed, they had trust in George W. Bush. They believed him. They believed what they were spewing in Cheney. And it was a lie. There were no weapons of mass destruction. We don't know where the uranium is in Iran. So yes, I think whether you're on the left or the right,
after the show was over, she was just like, yeah, so listen, can I get that number to Piers Morgan's show now, please? And also that Tim Pool contact too. That would be great, please, Bucko.
We should demand that.
And then, yeah, listen, don't call me, I'll call you. All right, bye.
Our politicians and our elected officials, whether you agree with them or not, are going to be straight with the American people. I'm not saying.
I don't think any of them are.
The hell happened? Is that Brian's feed? Did it just go out? Holy cow, the cope was too strong. Let me refresh, because look, his logo is still there.
We don't know where the uranium is in Iran. So yes, I think whether you're on the left or the right, we should demand that our politicians and our elected officials, whether you agree with them or not, are going to be straight with the American people. I'm not saying.
I don't think any of them are.
Yeah, it just cuts out. Wow. 20-year radio show host, huh? Brian Shapiro with the superior audio and video and broadcasting skills, huh? I think Bryce Shap is hacking you.
Big lie. In the 4 years of
God, dude. There's always some kind of technical error on his show every day. Like there's some kind of audio problem or the video goes out. Again, I thought this guy was like a 20-year radio show host. I thought he would have had all that stuff figured out already. Night Captain Sean, thank you very much for the $5. Freeze frame. Yep, that's me, Bucko. Yeah. Yep, that's me, Bucko. You're probably wondering how I got myself into this, but I can't wait to leave. Yep, exactly. Thank you very much, Night Captain Sean.
It's not direct lies. Just look, if you ever watched WWE, I mean, you're probably a little older than me, right? Like at WWE, when we grew up watching all of that, and they would come out with these chairs and hit each other and punch each other, so on and so forth. That's all politics is. They go behind the curtain, right? And they're all sitting back there talking to each other. Life's good. This is fine. And then they come out and they do a big show. That's all politics is. At this rate, that's all it is. When you get behind the curtain, you start seeing stuff. I see more and more every day, especially the shows, that. Like all of these people are operating under just this big wheelhouse of WWF and like entertainment for the masses. And you guys fall for it every time. And we're going to vote, and we're going to do this. It's one big mess.
The thing
I'm not going to put any stock in the idea that
the thing is about WWE though is that you don't see Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin isn't a 34 count felon, and The Rock never told a lie like the election was stolen leading up to the January 6th insurrection. That's the difference there. Mankind didn't raw dog Stormy Daniels. Yeah, and Hulk Hogan never made fun of POWs, calling them suckers and losers. That's the difference there.
Anything that they're going to tell me is going to be true. And
holy cow, it cut off again. America's number one for the two. Yo, what's good, cool bro? Nothing much, just chilling, reviewing this Sara Bryce Shap appearance here. Having a good old time. Thank you very much for the two, brother. Good to see ya. Mankind probably did raw dog Stormy. Yeah, maybe that was a bad example there. Let's see who else is there. Like there could be The Undertaker never raw dog Stormy Daniels, huh? Kane, he never raw dog Stormy Daniels. You don't know any of that for sure, Vic. True. Mankind was a fascist. Yeah, I'm going to skip ahead here again. 20-year radio show host.
Give commentary on it. And, a lot of the stuff, maybe not all the stuff, but a lot of the stuff that I debate people on or have discussions with people on, I believe, are a lot of things that have real-life consequences for people, like gun control, healthcare, maternity leave, Roe versus Wade, abortion, wars. I think that these are extremely serious topics. And this is where we, obviously would probably disagree, which is fine. I'm not a huge Kamala Harris fan. That's not the part that I think we're going to disagree on. She wasn't my first, second, or third pick. I do think she's a smart lady and she's a nice lady. But I believe if Kamala Harris had won, things would not be perfect in this country. I'm not making that claim at all. But if Kamala...
Oh, yeah, Goldberg is Jewish. Yeah, Goldberg. That's why Goldberg never done any of that stuff either.
Kamala Harris had won, I don't believe we would be in war with Iran. I don't believe inflation would be where it's at today. I don't believe gas prices would be where it's at today. I don't believe private sector job growth would be where it is today. I don't believe the unemployment rate would be continue to rise. And the reason why I say that, and even though she had some different policies, some that were a little bit different from Joe Biden, and I know her answer on The View wasn't a very good one, but I look at the debt, the national debt that we're in, and the $8.2 trillion that Trump got us in the...
Man, this is the worst live streamed first date that I've ever watched. Look at this. I wonder if this is what it looks like. Robert Jenkins for the $1.99. Did Brian mention his maid yet in his apartment? No. What? His maid? Thank you very much, Robert Jenkins. Brian wants Rikishi to sit on his head. Yeah, he wants the stink face. Look at this. Already, like, imagine this is the first date with Brian Shapp. Yeah, 34 count felon, huh? She's like, oh. Yeah. All right. Listen, Sara wish she could have given a friend like the secret text message where it's like, hey, look, like if you see me on the camera, raise my eyebrow 2 times, message me claiming that you're one of my kids and that there's an emergency so I could leave, something like that. She didn't do that, and she should have. But to be fair, the friend probably doesn't even know that the eyebrows are risen because they're always risen. So she probably should have came up with a different code.
First administration, and it's probably going to be worse this go around. Democrats are not perfect, but when you look at the last 60 to 70 years, Republicans have put us in 3 times the hole that Democrats have when it comes to our debt.
Oh, look, another number for you to worry about and stress about and blame the left, blame the right, and point fingers, and it's all one big game.
Yeah. So we're splitting the check, right, baby?
Game. It's just a number for you to look at.
But you don't think that...
I think it's all hogwash. I think it's all hogwash.
But you don't think
Let's stress over a number. Let's stress over this policy. Let's stress over... It's a popularity contest. It's all a narrative. Like, at what point do you stop and just...
Well, I can't stop caring about people. And I know that's a very general statement, but there are a lot of people in this country right now.
He's so caring.
Mightily. And I'm not saying nobody...
Brian is just such a caring guy. That's why he sends nudes to young men. That's why he sends harassing DMs to various different people. That's why he says things like Charlie Kirk was a piece of shit and says disparaging things about his widow, Erica Kirk. And because he's such an empathetic and caring guy. You guys just don't see it.
He struggles.
Life is short
under Democrat leadership either. But what I am saying is, in the big and beautiful bill, which is another policy that I think is awful, where you have millions and millions of people that are losing their health care coverage, millions of people that have lost their food stamps. People are struggling. And in a perfect world, I don't want someone to have to work 2 or 3 jobs. I don't want that woman who delivered food to the White House trying to save her husband's life, who's dying of cancer, to have to be a food delivery driver as a grandmother. I want people to be able to live their life. And I want people to be able to get the government programs that they need to be able to survive, especially if they're struggling, especially,
let them keep their own money.
Consumerism is what created that. Marketing is what created that. People buy stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff. We've inflated our own economy. We did it to ourselves. All we do is buy things. You want to fix people who can actually have their own homes or have their own things and take care of themselves. Get away from the government. Go homesteading. Right? I mean, I know it's not reasonable to say everybody could just get up and go do that. But if more people were homesteading, we wouldn't actually rely on the government to provide all of these other things and to control all of these other things. We'd have our own food, our own sources, our own this, our own that. I'm not saying you completely can go off grid, but realistically speaking, the government has the ability to control whether people are doing, whether people have all of this assistance or not, because we rely on them. We've given them control. I say the the federal government should be minimalized. The states, they should just be taking care of the basic things. We as adults, we are accountable for ourselves and our families. It's up to you to survive.
We're the richest country in the world, though.
Yeah, well,
we're the richest country in the world. Why can't we just give money to people, Sarah? You ever thought about that? How come the government just doesn't give money to us? We're the richest country in the world. You know that, right? Yeah. How come they don't just give us stuff? You never thought of that, huh? See, I care about people. I just want the government to give us stuff. You know? Why not? Don't you get it? Don't you understand economics? Life is short. Robert Jenkins, thank you very much for the $1.99. You had to end the stream because a maid came in. That's hilarious. Excuse, Brian. Excuse. I need to vacuum here. Thank you very much, Robert. She's right about that. We do not want to help the lazy. Yeah. Well, why can't the government just give us stuff? We're the richest country in the world. Why can't they just give me stuff, you stuff? Why can't they just pay for everything? Why can't that 34 count felon Trump just pay for my studio time here, huh? That's what I want.
Then what's the problem?
Well, I think the problem
why are so many people failing
the problem is that 99% of the wealth in this country is owned by about 15 people. That's
okay, so 15 people did well.
They did.
What's your point?
But my point is
Yeah.
there's a lot of people in this country that are
most
of which are.
What does one have to do with the other? Did those 15 people steal from the poor, and that's why the poor are broke? Oh, if not, they just did things. They just were success stories, and the other people weren't. So what? That's life. Some people are going to be successful. Some people aren't. They're going to be people that are more successful than others.
Are not lazy. They want to work, and they're suffering. Some people that are working 3 or 4 jobs just to make ends meet. There are people right now that I've actually talked to.
Well, then why isn't it the unemployment down then if they're working 3 or 4 jobs? Remember AOC? The unemployment is actually down, or is because people are working 2 jobs
Across the country that have to make choices on whether they're going to fill their gas tank or put food on the table.
Do they all have cell phones?
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course they do. Of course they have
It's all consumerism. We've done it to ourselves. Look, I've seen the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, of course they do, but they only have the Sprint phone. They have Android, Sarah. They can't afford the iPhone. You know, and don't you think the government should give us all iPhones? What's wrong with you? Don't you have empathy?
Before I've been on my butt.
And some of them, they have the iPhone 11. It doesn't even work that well. iPhone 11. It's not there. We're on the iPhone 17, Sarah. And you want people to survive? They're suffering with their iPhone 11s.
At the end of the day, and I climb myself back up. I could do it. Anybody could do it. I have you have no mercy for me. None. Figure it out.
No sympathy. What about like someone who suffers from drug addiction, or the homeless, or a woman who is struggling to raise a single mother struggling to raise a child,
or 2 kids, a single mother struggling to raise 2 kids, huh, Sarah? Does that sound familiar? A single unmarried mother, divorcee, struggling to raise two children. Someone who's struggling because they lost 5,000 subscribers. Burned every bridge she builds. What about them, Sarah? Don't you think they deserve free stuff?
I was a single mother. I struggled and I got through it.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Figure it out.
I'm glad you did, but
you need listen. That's I think that's probably the problem. This is where maybe we can get into it. I think there's a big like empathetic giving to people to a degree where it's over abused and given too much, and to where everybody just relies on it. I don't think we should be there. I think it should be minimalized. I think it should be a helping hand. I think it should be something else. But I think at the end of the day, you are your own person. You're accountable for yourself. And guess what? If everybody takes care of themselves, then why do we have to rely on the government to take care of us for us? Doesn't make any sense. They're there for protection. They're there to make sure that we're, equal across the board. But outside of that, they're not there to wipe your butt too.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to see where you draw the line.
I'm trying to see where you draw the line, though. I mean, I already said the iPhone 11s. They're suffering with their iPhone 11s. The government could give them the iPhone 17s. Elon Musk could. Did you know Elon Musk has enough money to buy every single citizen and illegal here in this country an iPhone 17? He's not doing it. Why not, Sarah? Doesn't he have empathy for people? I think he's a piece of crap.
Here, so let's just say unemployment benefits. Are you okay with
listen, figure it out.
No, but are you okay with that? Like,
If they have it, great, okay, but I wouldn't like go pushing for people to have that, right?
So-
but unemployment though, that comes out. Don't companies pay into that anyways?
Wait, don't punch down like Grid. What are you talking about?
Actually, the government also pays for it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out like what you're okay with. Medicaid coverage for people that can't afford health care.
I'm okay with things being there, but
Mhm.
I'm not going to go around demanding that we make these efforts for people. I wouldn't stand on that and make a big foundation on it. I wouldn't stand on the idea of, oh my God, we got to make sure everybody's taken care of. Like, okay, it's there, whatever, great. But I'm not going to, I wouldn't push for that. And I wouldn't make the argument and I wouldn't make the case for it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is obviously where we disagree. Now, obviously, there's going to be a small percentage of people that are going to take advantage of government assistance, abuse, or whatever you want to call it. But I also believe in the richest country in the world, where we can simply print money for a war that I'm against, which is about $2 billion a day. I guess I personally believe that, especially for the people in this country, and many of whom maybe don't have the opportunities that some other people have, that they should be able to have food assistance, besides maybe a food bank at a church, that I'm okay with food stamps. You know, I'm okay with Medicaid. I'm okay with safety nets to help people that lose their job, or single mothers that are in bad situations.
You know what would be a great safety net?
What's up?
Your family, your community, your church. That's how we operated before. That's so you would have your family. Most people still lived within
So now she's using Andrew talking points.
a block or two or a mile of their family. You could still live together with them. More people were closer, from grandparents to mom and dad to children to aunts, uncles, cousins. You were all close by.
Yeah.
You were your network. You took care of your family because you were close to home.
Yeah.
You went to church, and when you were in need and something happened and you needed some help, that's when your church came together, brought your community together, and you all did it together. You didn't call the government and say, hey, can I have some money? Okay, thanks. Right? We didn't call and say, hey, can you help take care of this thing? Okay, thanks. That's not how it worked. You, as a community, as a church, as a family, did it together.
So, yeah, here's my response to that. There's no question that there are families in this country and that individuals.
Yeah, no wonder his audience hated her. Like, holy crap. Pushing back against everything he's saying. So no wonder they're ready to go at it. Dizzy Stuff, thank you very much for the Australian fiber. I heard from a good source that Brian eats poo. He's into coprophagia. That's coprophagia. That's pretty gross. But thank you very much, Dizzy Stuff.
When they are struggling, can rely on family members that love them to help them. And yes, I think going to church or synagogue or wherever it is that you go to get that sort of help, I think that's great. But from my perspective, not everybody has great family. Some parents desert their kids. Some family members are horrible. Sometimes people are put in situations where they don't have that safety net. Now, I think if you can go to a church and get help, that's great. But if you're a type 1 diabetic, you can't really go to a church to get insulin. If you're suffering from,
get her out of there, Brian. She's a mega mushroom gobbler, Brian. Kick her out of the studio, Brian.
From severe illness, you can't go to a church to get top-notch medical professional care. So while I understand what you are saying, and that you're right, there are people out there that can rely on family members that love them to help them, and I think they should absolutely do that. I see nothing wrong with going to church and praying and getting the help you need. I think that's all great. But there are also a lot of people in this country that don't have the ability to just pick up the phone or be able to get help from a family member or even a friend.
That's because we created it to be that way.
How so?
We completely decentralized family, right? We just took it and blew it up and said family's no longer important. Move away, go get that big job out here. Move away, you'll want to live in this big city. Move away, move away, move away.
Dude, she's totally using Andrew talking points, though. You know, and the only reason why he's listening is because he likes her. If this was Andrew saying the exact same thing, which he has, he would be like just calling her out. You're a misogynist.
I don't know. What are the stats of families that actually stay close to home and where they grew up, or
the
their
divorce
family
rate is through the roof right now.
Well, there you go. Now our nuclear family is a disaster too.
Yeah.
Everything
By the way, Sarah's divorced.
We took away the idea that family's the most important thing, and now we put it in such an aspect of go be yourself, go find yourself, and that part's kind of irritating because at the end of the day, you are nothing without your family, without your community. I think we should all.
Yeah, no, exactly, masculine dreamer. Sarah, feminists like you destroyed the modern family unit. Zero self-awareness with this bitch is crazy. Yeah, no, exactly. Oh, look at it. Brian, he's like, oh, well, she's still looking good, though. Maybe I could still smash. Despite her being a mega mushroom gobbler, like maybe I could still tap.
We'll still be accountable for ourselves. But
unfortunately, you can't force people to be good people. You can't force people to be a good father or a good mother. And I think sometimes I guess this is where we disagree. I don't see anything wrong with, in the richest country in the world, people that are really suffering. Some family, every situation is different. Every person is different. Every circumstance is different. But I don't see anything wrong with safety nets to help people that are struggling in the richest country in the world. Now, I'm not saying don't get a job and sit on your ass and be lazy. There's always going to be a small percentage of people that are going to do that stuff. Is it a small
percentage, though?
Well, yeah, I would like to think that it is.
See, he doesn't even know. He just said, I like to think that it is. So it's not like he has data or anything saying only, 5%. 5% of these people, they're lazy. He doesn't know. He just feels.
Always going to be abuse. And there's always going to be people taking advantage of government programs, but that doesn't mean that we should take it away from everybody.
That sounds kind of fun. I think I'm just going to quit my job and call the government and rely on it, because then I can get paid to stay at home, right? That sounds way more fun to me.
Welfare is barely enough to even pay your rent, let alone these people are not getting paid a lot of money from the government. And I would like to think that the most people that are on these government programs.
When you pair it all together, though.
Yeah, I would say, and I'd be willing, and I guess this is an opinion, but I would say that the overwhelming majority
all of it's
of people
an opinion
in this country that, for example, are on food stamps, that are on welfare, don't want to be on it. They want to be able to take care of themselves without getting.
See, this is just assumptions. Yeah, it is just an opinion. You just think that most of them don't want to be on it. No, they do. If you're just getting free money from the government to not do anything, yeah, why not? Why not?
$200 a month of food stamps. Now, there are some people that are going to take advantage of it. Of course they are. And I want those people to be held to the highest extent of the law. But I do also believe that there's a lot of people in this country that rely on government assistance. They rely on going to the drugstore because they're sick, getting medicine that they need to live. So I certainly
see, if we didn't have the consumerism pushing the pharmaceutical companies to market, push, money, then your pharmaceuticals might actually be a more reasonable cost. If you didn't have insurance, I actually just had this happen recently, and let this be kind of an example of why this is irritating to me.
Yeah.
My insurance company, I was going through physical therapy. Something happened with
Brian's like, oh God, woman prattle.
Insurance company, and they weren't going to cover it. So I told the person, I said, I'll just pay cash. No big deal.
Yeah.
$70 for me to pay cash per visit. Right. And then they were trying to charge my insurance company still for whatever it was that I was paying cash for, $5,000 for 10 visits that were supposed to be $70 per cash.
Yeah.
I was paying $70 per visit for those 10 visits. There's $700, $5,000. That's what the insurance companies are doing right now to our people. So they're flaring up these prices. My physical therapist is flaring up the price that what they're sending to the insurance company.
Sure.
Does that make sense? Do you see what we're doing?
Of course.
$70 versus whatever they were trying to charge.
I completely agree. But are you aware that Donald Trump got rid of Obamacare and he doesn't even have a plan for health care?
Completely agree with that. I believe and people might think I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I believe we have a cure for cancer. I believe we have a cure for diabetes. I know for a fact that they inject beta cells into monkeys that can recreate pancreases.
Did they inject beta cells into you, Brian? Were you the prime test subject? I think they were testing on Brian, those beta cells. And I've become the ultimate beta.
Can cure diabetics. The reason why they don't want cures for these diseases is because there's so much money involved. I agree. And again, I'm not saying that the Democrat Party is perfect, because they're not. But I believe there's one party that, if they had it their way, would have universal health care for all because they believe it's a right, or at least most Democrats do, and Republicans do not. I can go to Donald Trump's, one of his first executive orders. This drove me nuts, of many other things. But he started with the insulin capping, right?
Mhm.
But it didn't apply to most people, Plan B and Plan D, on their medical coverages. Millions of Americans did not have access to it until a guy by the name of Joe Biden got involved. And he passed a bill so that millions of Americans were able to get their insulin at $35 caps. And I don't know if it was an ego thing for Donald Trump, but under Joe Biden, it worked. Millions more Americans had access to this. And Donald Trump.
I have to reread that, but Donald Trump put in something for insulin, and then Biden immediately got rid of it, and then did like an insulin thing. But Donald Trump was the first to start. It wasn't an ego thing. What he did, and again, I have to go reread the details, but what he did like helped a lot of people with the insulin. Capping everything isn't like the answer, though. You know, that's what the Democrats want to do. They just want to put these like Band-Aids on these things, but the Band-Aids actually doesn't really help. Sometimes it actually makes it worse. Like, you can't just put rent caps and insulin, can't like all these caps. That's not the answer. You're interfering with the free market. Yes, insulin is ridiculously expensive and they are overcharging, but the solution isn't just to cap it. Dean McCaskill, thank you very much for the Canadian $6.99. Canadian Super Chat, Vic. Love the Kreischapp impressions. Well, thank you very much. Trump capped insulin in 2020, yeah. Trump did it, and on Biden's first day in office, he signed an EO to undo it. Yeah, I remember like he came in and he undid it, and then he did like his own thing, or he did the same. I don't know. I forgot what he did exactly, like the specifics. But you could argue that was an ego thing with Biden, if anything. Trump made it for $35. Biden got rid of it, then brought it back for $35. Hey, Chris Lestrange. Thank you guys. Thank you very much for the raid. Yeah, make sure you guys go check out Chris Lestrange and his channel. Raiding in. Howdy, cool Vic and Peepholes. Good to see you, Chris. Thanks for the raid.
Signs an executive order and wipes out Plan B and Plan D. Millions of Americans. Again, I'm not saying Democrats are perfect because they're not.
But it's the insurance that's driving the costs. Imagine if we weren't paying all
corporate
of these,
greed.
Yeah,
of course.
If we were paying cash as we go, I guarantee you,
Corporate
at least
greed.
in my theory, in my observation, your medical costs, your doctor's visits, all of those things would drop dramatically, and it'd be significant. And I just watched it in firsthand, experience happen exactly that way.
But that's an example where I would say not everybody can afford their health care. In fact, I look at the stats right now. The labor statistics showed that 49% of people that are working right now can't afford the health care that is offered to them. 36% of people that are working aren't even offered health care. I have a serious problem with that. These are not lazy people. These are people that are working and they can't even afford health care. That's not the country that I want to live in.
The reason why they can't afford it is because we've driven the costs.
Yeah.
Like nuke out the insurance companies, pay cash for your doctor's visits. And I feel like it's going to just fly down because you're paying all of these administrative costs, these billing costs, a cost just a cost, all of these additional things.
You're making my point for me, which is, if you're a family that is struggling and you are underneath the threshold, and obviously you're an American citizen, Medicaid can save your life. I'm not saying Obamacare is perfect. It's not, okay? But at least he had a plan. And what I ask people who voted for Donald Trump is, over the last 10 years, can somebody and anybody tell me what Donald Trump's healthcare plan is? I've been hearing them complain for 10 years about Obamacare. Okay, fine. I don't have a problem with people that complain about a policy. Give me your solution. Donald Trump.
Yeah, it turns out this is a medicinal newsboy cap to cure my baldness. Hasn't worked yet, but someday it will.
Yet he doesn't have a health care plan. First, we were told it's coming in 2 weeks. It's coming in a month. We heard that like over the course of his first administration. I want lawmakers making laws that help the American people, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. Again, I'm not saying Obamacare is perfect. It's not. I'm not saying Medicaid is perfect. It's not. Yes, there's going to be some fraud. I completely agree. But if you're going to complain, not you, I'm talking about the Trump administration. If you're going to complain about Obamacare, which they have virtually every day for the last 10 years, where's your replacement plan? To me, that's not a serious policymaker. We both agree this is a problem in this country.
It's just, why is it up to the government to pay for everyone's health care there, Brian? Like, there's other solutions that we could go for. It's not just we have to just rely on healthcare. It's like these libs, they assume that if you can't go to college, like if you can't afford to go to college, then there's something wrong. It's like, well, you don't have to go to college. If you can't afford healthcare, that means that there's something wrong. And it's like, well, you don't need, like, the solution isn't just for the government to provide the healthcare. There's other solutions, Brian. But see, people like Brian, like libs like Brian, they just want the government to take care of us. That's not what the government's there for.
Right? This is a huge problem. People don't have the health care that maybe they deserve, they need, whatever the case. And I want to know what Donald Trump's health care plan is. He's had 9-10 years to come up with one, right? Even when he wasn't president, he could have gotten people together. He could have gotten people together in a room, some serious people. All right, let's put together a plan. Where is it? It doesn't exist. So that's one of my biggest policy criticisms of Donald Trump. I have many, but that's at the top of my list. You don't have to like Obamacare. You don't have to like the Democrats' policies and their beliefs in healthcare. Fine, no problem. Give me something.
Yeah, we don't have to vote for it either.
Us nothing over the last 10 years when it comes to healthcare.
That's because we're looking at all this other stupid stuff. That's why I said limit the government back down to where it belongs. Shrink it down.
Limit the government.
All of this.
We need more government, and we need government-funded radio stations. More of them.
We don't need, and maybe you'll actually be able to have these conversations a little easier and make the important decisions better because we're not too focused on silly laws and policies and stuff that has nothing to do with anything.
I do want to open up the
reflecting
phone.
pools. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what? You just took the.
And now I want to open up the phone so the callers can do their thing and attack you.
Words right out of my mouth. He still talks about January 6th. He still talks about a rigged election. He talks about reflecting pools and ballrooms and windmills. And
hey, so what's going on with this reflecting pool thing? I hear like liberals are like cheering on the algae. What's going on there? Why are they rooting for algae now?
He has nicknames for Democrats that he disagrees with. For whatever reason, I don't know why, he's obsessed with his narcissism and always make me look good.
Orange man bad.
And talk about gold plating in the White House. Now, again, I'm not saying Joe Biden is perfect. I'm not saying the Democrats are perfect, but I think we could agree. I don't think Donald Trump is necessarily focused on the important things. Heck, 2 days after Charlie Kirk was brutally murdered, and yes, it was horrible what happened to him, brutal. 2 days after his supposed friend was murdered, he's asked, and I played the audio, Mr. President, how are you holding up? You know, your best friend was one of your best friends was just murdered. How are you doing? His response was, oh, I'm doing fine. And then he started talking about the ballroom. So, yeah, I think healthcare is way up there on the list. It's a really
maybe we'd
issue.
have more funding for it if we weren't worried about. I think federal government got too big, and now we're relying on it. And
I wonder if Sara gave him that mug. It looks like a Sara type of mug. Look at him just downing. Like how he downed that freaking mug, that coffee.
It's really
maybe we'd have more funding for it if we weren't worried about
downing that copium.
I think federal government got too big.
Oh yeah, give me that copium.
And now we're relying on it, and I think that we put ourselves in a bad position.
Think about all the people.
Thank you very much, Dean McCaskill, for the $6.99. Shaps is heading to the reflecting pool with the box cutter. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Thank you very much, Dean.
Well, that could be help right now with all the money that we've spent, the $200+ billion in this war. We can talk about wasteful spending until the cows come home, right? But
Americans are just as guilty. We look at how much do we spend a year at Christmas time? I mean, as a nation,
I don't buy anything for anybody.
Some people don't spend.
So I spend zero.
Any money because they
some
can't
people
afford
don't
it.
spend it.
And some people don't spend any money because they're a selfish, greedy ass like me.
But we sit here and blame the government for being in debt for this, or we wasting money on that. We're all just as guilty. We spend money on stupid stuff we don't need and then complain about it later.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that, I would say Trump Bibles and Trump gold sneakers. And I mean, I could go on and on. I do think in general, people aren't great with money and they spend their money recklessly, sure. But if you're an elected official, you expect that you are going to come up with solutions to the national debt, coming up with solutions on what we just talked about, healthcare. But anyway, what do you say we take some phone calls?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do that. Let's take some phone calls.
Sarah's like, oh, please. Yes, anything to get us away from this conversation. Yeah, she was totally, whatever like she had for Brian is just completely gone now. She has the ick. She's done. She's Dunsky. She's only going to keep in contact with him until she gets that Piers Morgan or Tim Pool contact. And then once he gives that up, then she's out of here. And he's only going to stick around and talk to her because he wants to smash. And as soon as she gives that up, then he's out of there. You know, I think this relationship is Dunsky's. How quickly this relationship fell apart, huh? Who could have seen that coming? Who could have? Yeah, the right up. Yeah. He really thought they were vibing. Yeah, exactly. The ick is super contagious. Yeah. Sarah and the raging Shapiro. Brian is a sip. Yeah. A game. Thank you very much for the 2. First caller, Vic. Nice. Let's get to A game. Yeah, no Sarah fake glass today. She's like, maybe I should have kept on LG.
To have some fun. And by the way, I have no idea what type of calls we're going to get today.
Well, that's how.
Let me at it, Brian. Let me at it.
I was going to play some audio cuts, but I want to give people the opportunity to call in and ask either of us a question. Number to call, by the way, is 702-221-7283. And the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation is 702-221-SAVE. We just talked about a number of different things. We had Ron Filipowski on from Midas Touch. We talked about this reflecting pool saga where these people are being arrested, including a 3-time.
Donald Trump is friends with the reflecting pool. I'm friends with Tim Pool. Thank you very much. Kyle's swam the mile for the 2 Crip Walk. All right, here we go. Thank you very much for helping me hit that super chat goal, guys. Oh yeah, it's a power of the cool verse right there. Thank you guys very much. Let's see if we can do it again.
Medalist, Olympian, and Donald Trump is blaming them for what's going on with the reflecting pool. We talked a little bit about Iran, where J.D. Vance, alleging that they have this deal in place, and Iran, the regime, are saying that no, that is not true. That's a lie. So we're certainly talking about that as well. Again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation is 702-221-7283. Sarah, the raging tomato. I know she's raging at me right now. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Marcus. Marcus is first up on PTL. Hey, Marcus, what's going on?
Here we go. Here's a game.
Yeah, what's going on?
What's up, Marcus?
Not much. Calling you from work right now. So on the job at the same time. Have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
I'd like to be able to get them out.
Well, let's do one at a time, if that's okay.
One at a time, okay?
Yes. Go ahead.
I always hear you compare or talk about Donald Trump's moral values, saying that he was. Yep. Oh, wait, let me finish. Mm-hmm. That he's on the Epstein files. He was a 34.
A games already has PTSD. Right when Brian says, yeah, no, wait, let me finish. That's how much the A game has been potted down by Brian. Trav, thank you very much for the 1999, brother. Got nothing to say. Just wanted us to support. Thank you very much, Trav. I appreciate you.
For count selling.
Yep, that's all correct.
All those things, right?
Sure.
Now,
sure.
All right. Now, I want to compare something. All right. I want your honest take on something. So when you say these things, that he's 34 count felon, all right,
well, they're true though, right?
40,000 times, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Though, right? Wait.
Yeah,
it's true that he was in court for the 34 counts. I agree with that.
Okay.
All right.
We've established I'm not a liar. Thank you.
We established this. Okay.
Okay.
In terms of him being in the Epstein files, hold on, let me finish. In terms of him being in the Epstein files, there's no evidence that he ever did.
I like that. I like that A-Game has PTSD. They're like, well, hold on. Dude.
Anything with kids.
Or A-Game.
Now,
first of all,
I want you to compare.
Hold on a second. Stop. Stop. No. Stop.
Compare.
Stop. Hold on. I never said that he molested children. I said he's in the Epstein files. Hold on. Sir, I need you to slow down and calm down, okay? Stop spurting out, relax, then I'll let you make your weird comparison.
He told Andrew. He told Andrew that he diddled children.
By the way, the reason why I talk about these things is because he's the president of the United States, okay? Now, I don't know who you're about to compare to. I never said beyond the shadow of a doubt that he children. What I have said is he's a liable sexual abuser, okay? He was, let me just make sure that factually we're on the same page before we continue this conversation. Is Donald Trump a liable sexual abuser? Yes or no?
In my opinion, it was a kangaroo.
Didn't ask you what, sir?
Yes.
Sir?
I didn't ask you for your opinion, and we all know that only my opinion counts here, sir. Abe, thank you very much for the $2. Which AI do you use for the goals? Well, for this one, which one did I use for this one? I forgot the name of this one. I think for this one I used actually I have to look it up. I don't remember, but it's nothing really fancy though.
Didn't ask you.
Kangaroo court.
Okay,
Yes.
I didn't ask you whether you agreed with the jury's decision. I need you to focus on. Okay,
I'm giving you an honest opinion.
Okay, I didn't ask you for your opinion. It's a yes. It's not an opinion. Hold on a second, sir. I need you to focus. I didn't ask you. My opinion is that O.J. Simpson, Nicole Brown Simpson, and Ronald Goldman. But if somebody asks me, is O.J. Simpson a convicted murderer, I immediately say no. Do you see the difference, sir? So let's try this one more time, okay? And I'm going to be patient with you. Is Donald Trump a liable sexual abuser? Yes or no?
By law, yes.
Okay, not by law. Liable is not law, but yes.
But yeah, it was in a legal court. So he was legally found liable, a liable sexual abuser. He's right.
You are right.
Yes,
He is. Okay. That's the only answer
Yeah.
I wanted. Okay, so now make your comparison that you wanted to make. You wanted to compare Donald Trump and the Epstein files and all this.
Sure.
Okay, so what was your comparison? What would you like to compare?
Okay. I would like to compare this to this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you said was, bad. I agree.
Okay.
Now, I want you to compare two people. I want you to compare, let me get it out, Barack Obama and Andrew Cuomo, okay? Andrew Cuomo.
Let's focus on Barack Obama first.
Hold on, let me finish.
Let's focus. Let's focus.
He's trying to compare two people, Brian. You can't just compare two people. Let's focus on one. Well, no, he's trying to make a comparison. You can't do that with just one person.
Focused on Barack Obama first.
Finish.
You just said, name me something. Name me.
I will.
Okay, is Barack Obama? Okay, so let's go through the checklist here.
Let me finish.
Okay, well, no. Well, no. It's my show, not yours. We're going to do it my way, or you can hang up the phone. Okay? Pot him down. Okay. You don't get to filibuster on my show, you Trump mushroom gobbling idiot. Okay? This is my show and not yours. You just said Barack Obama. Please name me anything that Barack Obama has ever done in his life that would compare to being a liable sexual abuser, a 34-count felon, a guy who cheated on his wife with a porn star and raw dogged her and then paid her off $130,000. A guy who's attacked Gold Star families, said he didn't want black people counting his money in Atlantic City. He wanted Jews counting his money. Can you name me one thing in his personal life that Barack Obama has ever done that, or maybe going into teenage girls' locker rooms without their permission? Go ahead, since you want to compare Barack Obama to Donald Trump. Go ahead, sir.
All I need is one thing that destroys everything you just said.
Then please, then go.
Wasn't A-Game trying to compare Barack Obama to Andrew Cuomo? He wasn't trying to compare both of them to Trump, at least as far as I know.
Oh, say it. Then say it and shut up.
Let me say it. Barack Obama Abdul Amar Amaraki.
You are, get this idiot off my show. Okay. First, do you even know what you're talking about with that guy, you fool? Okay. You have no idea what you're talking about. Barack Obama is not a murderer. Okay. You're just a complete clown. You're not a serious person. Oh yeah. By the way, I know you struggle with facts, sir. You see, Barack Obama, last I checked, I don't know, Sarah, help me with this one. I don't know.
Was he a 34 count
Has
felon?
Barack Obama ever been charged with a crime in his life? I don't recall.
That doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell with me. Sir, I think you're in the Epstein files. Have a nice day. God.
Did you see how I handle that, baby? Yeah, see how I talk to these mega mushroom gobblers? Have I won you back yet, sweetheart? Real quick, guys, make sure to click that like button and subscribe to my channel if you are enjoying.
These people. This is what I have to deal with every day. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Yeah, compare Donald Trump to Barack Obama. Barack Obama's a murderer. Yeah, you're an idiot. You're an idiot, sir. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the color of his skin, though, right, sir? I'm sure it has nothing to do with that. This is probably the same idiot who called Michelle Obama man. Let's go to Adam. Adam is next on PTL. What's up, Adam?
Hi, my first question is to Sarah. I just want to say I had a great time on your panel the other day. It was awesome. Absolutely had a great time. Hope to do it again. And as for you, Brian, my questions now to you is why did you send Miguel?
All right, so this guy, again, is going to try to make personal comments. Doesn't surprise me. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. By the way, for those of you that are calling into this show, we're going to remain on topic. This isn't about being personal with Brian Shapiro or your personal grievances with me. I guess, Sarah, you have a few fans that are also big Trump mushroom gobbler fans of mine as well, I guess. That's what we've learned. Let's go to Andrew, who's calling out of Virginia. What's up, Andrew?
Hey.
What's up, Andrew? Did we lose you? Sorry, Andrew, call back. I think we hung up on you by accident. No, Numchuck's going to take responsibility for that one. I always get blamed for hanging up on people. Usually it is me, and I give Numchuck the nod. Go ahead, get rid of him. But that was not me. Numchuck takes personal responsibility for that one. So please call back, Andrew. That was not me. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Uncle Fatty, who is calling in. I think that's
our Uncle
one
Fatty.
of those people.
Uncle Fatty. Hi, Uncle Fatty. So yeah, a member of the panelverse here now to call in and support Sarah, I guess.
On one of your
Hi, Uncle Fatty.
your debates. Uncle Fatty, what's going on?
You can always blame Biden.
Uncle Fatty, what did you think of that? I'm not going to call it a debate. The conversation that I had with Sarah. What did you make of that?
You know, it's great. And you know what I really appreciate about both your guys' programs and platforms is people of polar opposites sometimes being able to come to the same spot, have a decent conversation, and agree that we can agree to disagree.
And you know what?
She didn't bread, maybe drink a glass of wine, you know what I mean?
She didn't try to compare Donald Trump to Barack Obama. Okay. If she did that, I would have started laughing. Okay. Now I might not agree with a lot of the stuff she said, but she's not like an idiot who calls into this show who's Barack Obama's a murderer. I mean, how do you take people like that seriously? These people.
But yeah, he calls Trump a freaking pedophile, and then he denies it.
People are morons. What do you want me to say?
Well, and I think there's something to be said about just being able to.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip this part. Bye, Uncle Fatty.
Because my maid was in my apartment and I needed to go, and she saw all that. I actually had to go. Yeah, I never like rage quit anything. I've had a few conversations with people where I said, okay, you're just not worth my time, but it wasn't like a rage quit. Like, yeah.
And Fatty, I think the important part is, I offer that platform and that space for you guys to come on and have different opinions. Whether I agree with you or not, it doesn't even matter to me. Right. But being able to turn off the computer, turn off the camera and go home and know that none of your opinions affect my home. And that's right and center.
Blah, 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 blah. I'm your home now, baby, right? I'm your home now, Bryce.
So she does a really good job. She's very fair. And even though I disagree with her politically, all the debates I've been on involving her, and I think we'll probably see some more, she's very, very fair. And that's what a moderator is supposed to do.
She's an independent moderator. She's very fair. Yeah, sure she is, Brian.
That's their job, to be fair and not be biased. That's the most important job of a moderator. I couldn't be a moderator. Okay, I couldn't do it.
No.
My head
Why
was
not?
spinning, okay.
Why not, though? I thought you were a registered independent. Why couldn't you be fair, Brian? I don't understand. Sempiternal, thank you very much for the $2, brother. Got nothing to say. Just wanted to show your support. Thank you very much, brother. Speaking of raw dogging, Sarah, what are you doing after the show? Painting on my eyebrows for the rest of the week, bucko.
I'd call people names. I couldn't do it. Okay?
Yeah.
You think I
Good
could
luck.
sit there? You think I could sit there and listen to some of these Trump mushroom gobblers compare Barack Obama to Trump? Now, Brian Shapiro, the moderator, would call you an idiot. Like I couldn't do that. So I think you have to be a certain type of person, and Sarah can do it. I'm not cut out for it. Okay, there's things in life I'm really bad at, and that would be one of them. Okay, I couldn't moderate a debate.
But I thought, why not? Again, I don't get it though. He's a registered independent. Why wouldn't he be fair? Joshua Bradley, thank you very much for the $5. She for sure shaved a unibrow off her face. Yeah, probably. It's probably had like a little. It was probably really arched in the middle too. Thank you very much, Joshua, for the $5.
I was asked to moderate. It was a group called Veterans in Politics, a right-wing organization, and I was asked to moderate a gubernatorial debate. This had to be at least 4 years ago. And most of them were Republicans, and I think most of them thought that Donald Trump won the 2020 election. As a moderator, I interjected. By the way, I also think it's important for a moderator to be factually accurate. I didn't call anybody.
I got to find that because I think that's the same people he had that interview with. It was like two guys.
Any names, but I said, to this day, there's no evidence of widespread voter fraud that could change the outcome of the election. And people were screaming at me for saying that. I said, I'm not cut out for it. I can't deal with these idiots. I just can't. And that was it. That was the end of my moderating career right there in a nutshell. That's it.
Well, you do got a real pretty ear.
I don't.
What?
All right. Let's just. Who let Uncle Fatty call on?
It's just that minimalist point of view. And
how long is he gone for?
Hold on a second. Before I answer that question,
it's a simple question. What was wrong? So really, to get to my point, Brian, I always hear you complain about Obamacare and Trump's plan.
Mm-hmm.
What was? And it's a simple question. What was wrong with the healthcare plan when it was privatized? When it was before Obamacare?
So hold on a second. Before I answer that question, you're disagreeing with me with the premise that Trump doesn't have a plan? Because that was my argument. My argument wasn't that Obamacare is perfect.
We've already done this before, Brian. I know he doesn't have a plan.
Okay. That was. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Wait. My argument wasn't Obamacare is great. My argument wasn't Obamacare is even good. My argument, and my only argument, was if you're going to complain about a policy put forth by a Democrat, in this case the president, then you better have a replacement plan. That was my only argument. Why are you asking me my opinions on Obamacare? That's not my argument, sir.
Because here's my replacement plan. Go back to what it was.
Yeah.
That's
you stupid idiot. Look how pissed off he got when he said that. But that's true. Like, why not? Why does he have to have a replacement plan? Why not? Hey, this was a horrible move. Let's undo it. Why is that not a good plan? How come Trump has to come in with his own healthcare plan? Abe, thank you very much for the $2. Not a unibrow, it's an omnibrow. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Abe.
It's not what Donald Trump has said. It's not what the Republican Party has said.
So if we eliminate
that's your opinion.
If we eliminate Obamacare, just eliminate it. What's the problem with the way it was?
Then why hasn't Donald Trump done that, sir?
Well, he hasn't done that because it's a law.
Not true. Not true. Not true. Here's what he needs to do. Okay, he would come forth with a plan. Even if that plan was where it was before, maybe he could tinker with a few small things. If he came up with a plan, even if it was almost virtually identical to the prior plan, he would present it in DC. Hold on.
So
present it.
Lower,
I'm trying to answer your question, sir. You're not listening to me. Okay. Holy smokes. Do I have to talk like the Grim Reaper yesterday? Andrew, we had a guy calling yesterday. And he literally sounded like this. Andrew, all Trump has to do is come up with a plan that could have been similar to a plan in the past and let Republicans and Democrats take a look at it. He hasn't done that in almost a decade. Don't you have a problem with that, Andrew?
Yeah, I do.
We agree. So what's the argument? What are you arguing with me about?
Go back to Trump. With you, everything goes
because, hey, dope.
Pat him down. Because he's the president of the United States. Justin O'Dizzle, thank you very much for the $4.99. Yo, Vic, I probably missed it, but are you going to be at DebateCon? As of right now, no, but things could change. We'll see. Thank you very much, Justin O'Dizzle, for the $4.99.
Hey, dope. He's the president of the United States, you imbecile. He's the president. He's a policymaker. He's the president of the United States, the guy that you voted for. Oh, my God, I can't believe you're talking about Trump. Hey, dope, do you call into Fox News and complain to Jesse Waters and Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham? Do you call into Newsmax when they're talking about Trump? Do you call into OAN or Mark Levin when he wears the Donald Trump knee pads 24/7? Of course you don't, Andrew, because you don't like my criticisms of Donald Trump. But if I'm, bending knee to your dear leader, you have no problem with me talking about Trump, okay? No problem at all, Andrew, because you're a Trump mushroom. No, don't Brian me. Don't Brian me, Andrew. Andrew, don't Brian me. You are a Trump mushroom gobbler, and you cannot criticize Trump for anything. Take off your Donald Trump knee pads, wipe your mouth, have your milk and cookie, pleasure yourself to a Donald Trump poster or me, and go to sleep.
Ew.
Can you do that, Andrew? Can you do that?
Well, Sarah didn't have the ick. She has it now. She didn't have it before. She has it now. What? Why does Brian always have to bring it to pleasuring? They're pleasuring themselves to him. It was bad enough when he said pleasuring yourself to Donald Trump posters, but then he has to add in or me. It's like, Brian, dude, maybe you are gay. Why are you thinking about dudes pleasuring themselves to you? You fucking creep. Gross. Dizzy for the Australian too. Save Australia. One nation. Indeed. Thank you very much. Joshua Bradley for the $5. For the love of all that is holy, Vic, please clip Brian trying to do the deep voice, but it's sounding the same. All right, I will. Thank you very much, Joshua, for the $5. Yeah, or me. Stop pleasuring yourself to me. Donald Trump posters or me. Oh my gosh. OMFG, ew. Finally, someone said it to his face and he heard it. Yeah. No, it's not the first time I've heard ew from women. Okay, to be fair. I'm used to it. That's why I'm not even upset by it. Look, I'm smiling.
Can you do that? No, I'm sorry. Andrew, can you do that, please?
I did not need that.
Yes, Brian.
You have TFS. You have TFS. Do you know what that is? It's called Trump fellatio syndrome. You clown. That's what you have. You can't criticize Donald Trump for anything. Look up Trump mushroom gobbler in the dictionary. I don't think it's in there yet. It will be soon. Andrew from Rhode Island's name is right there. Brian, why can't we go back to the healthcare before? Brian, why do you always talk about Donald Trump? Because he's the president, you idiot. Good grief. So 221-7283. David's calling out of Pennsylvania. What's up, David?
Hey, Brian, are you there?
Unfortunately, yes, David, I'm here.
Thank you. With an earlier caller before, you said that I heard you say you said you never made the claim that Trump molested children, but
I've made the case that I don't believe it's far-fetched that he could have. I've said that over and over again, and I stand by that.
Right, but you just said in the call that you said you never made the case you molested children, but again, you tweeted that he did.
Okay, what was exactly the words? What was exactly the words that I used in the tweet?
Donald Trump has molested children.
The exact tweet was, the guy you support multiple 6-year-olds.
Oh, props to that guy for bringing the receipts. Boom. Let's see how Bryce Shapp responds to getting called out. All right, pot him down. Obviously listening to right-wing media.
So I would have to take a look at that tweet.
Okay, which is Kevin Sorbo.
And you can, okay, Kevin.
I can tell you right now. It's
okay.
March 24th, 2026. You said it. You said the guy you support
Donald Trump.
Multiple 6-year-olds.
Okay, so would you like me to clarify for you, David?
Yes, please.
Okay. Donald Trump.
When I said 6-year-olds, I meant 26-year-olds. Okay, I mistyped.
Trump has never been convicted of molesting children. I personally believe with his ties to Jeffrey Epstein, the fact that he went into teenage girls' locker rooms without their permission.
That's another lie, Brian.
Sexualized his own daughter. The fact that there was I believe, a 10 or 11-year-old that was credible enough that the FBI interviewed her in the episode.
So all they have to do is just interview them. That's it. So that makes them credible enough that she got interviewed. Yeah, isn't that the same one that later recanted and said, yeah, that's actually not true? Like they actually found it not to be credible, and she was discredited. The same girl, the same woman.
Epstein files. The fact that he constantly talked about Jeffrey Epstein in audio, saying, yeah, Jeffrey likes him really young, and he remained, according to Jeffrey Epstein, best friends with each other. You add all those things together in the context of
none of that's proof he raped kids. But you said he raped multiple kids.
So you put all that context together. I personally believe that there is a very, very good chance that he may have allegedly done those things. I stand by my opinions on it. Now, never have I said he did full proof. Never have I said he was convicted.
He just did. He just read you the tweet where you said that he raped 6-year-olds. He read you the tweet. It wasn't like, I personally believe he did. It was, no, he did.
Never.
And then didn't he yell when he was harassing the MAGA supporters in that one rally or protest or whatever, that he was harassing them and he said, oh, you're supporting a child rapist. I think he told them that.
Have I said that he was even charged? But I do find it interesting and weird. Don't you find it a little weird, David, the way he's acting in regards to Jeffrey Epstein? They're not releasing the 4 million files. He calls you and me and everybody.
Look, I'm in agreement with you there.
Okay,
I completely agree with you.
Okay, so one could call that circumstantial evidence. Now, he's either doing one of two things, David. He's either protecting.
So, again, it's fine for Brian to say things like he raped 6-year-olds off of circumstantial evidence, right? But we're morons and retards if we think that the 2020 election was stolen. So if we have the opinion that we think the 2020 election was stolen, he'll be like, has there been any evidence of widespread fraud? Has there been anyone that's been sent to jail over it? You know, like, we're idiots if we believe the 2020 election was stolen. Oh, but it's okay if he believes Donald Trump diddled kids, though. It's okay. See, it's okay. It's reasonable if he believes that, but it's unreasonable if we believe the 2020 election was stolen.
His friends and or protecting himself. And I always talk about Ghislaine Maxwell.
No, people say himself. I don't think he cares.
All right, so David, then we're in agreement. And I always ask people this question.
We're in agreement on that, but I'm asking you, Brian, why you said he multiple kids and you said it.
I would have to. I don't remember. Listen, I tweet about 100 different things a day. I would have to take a look at the tweet. I'm sure I've made mistakes.
Yeah, but why make such a brutal accusation and then you just kind of casually roll it? That's not.
I don't think it's a. I don't think it's a brutal.
He raped multiple 6-year-olds.
I don't think it's a brutal accusation.
You just casually tweet that and then don't remember it.
Okay, so first of all, no, I don't. I'm being completely honest with you. And second of all, I tweet dozens and dozens of things every single day. It doesn't mean I'm going to word things correctly. It doesn't mean I'm going to get everything right. But I just clarified for you. So if you care so much about a podcaster and what they tweet, and maybe I got my words wrong, I don't know. I don't remember the tweet. It's very plausible that I.
Yeah. So, okay. So Brian could tweet whatever he wants and he's, well, I don't remember that. I tweet tons of times a day. Okay. But Donald Trump, if he tweets something, Brian will sit here in his radio show spurging out about it. How can he do that? Why would he say this? Why would he write that? Okay. And then if you call him out, he'd be like, well, he's like, which he's about to do right now. But that's the president of the United States. I'm just a radio show host. Yeah, but what's the difference? Okay. Donald Trump's still a human being, Brian. You guys are both human beings. And much like you, how you tweet several times a day and you apparently don't remember everything. Same with Trump. Okay. Like you guys are both human beings. If he's not above the law and he could be criminalized and you'll be charged as a 34-count felon, how come he's not able to just tweet whatever he wants to? If he's not above the law, if he's not above making mistakes. I had another point, but I forgot. But pretty much that's the gist of it.
Could have gotten my words incorrect, but you care so much about that.
I don't know how you get that incorrect.
Hold on. Okay. Well, guess what? I don't know how you. I don't know.
But it's all deflection too. It's all deflection. It's all like, yeah, but he's the president. You know, but Brian, the reason why people are calling you out is because you're holding the president to a standard that you don't even hold yourself to. That's what we're calling out here.
I don't know how you get something incorrect. Again, talking about it.
But hold up. But Brian, don't you kind of utilize that same talking point to other people for things that they say? Like, you said it. This is what you said.
Wow.
Right? So this guy is pointing
Holy cow. Rare Sarah W. Excellent point. Very rare Sarah W. Excellent point. Yeah, Brian will deflect and be like, but Trump's the president. But he will also attack people who aren't the president for saying violent, heinous things.
Out in a very specific tweet
and
that
I
you made.
I gave a very specific answer, but I talk to the president of the United States and people with large platforms like the president of the United States and elected officials. And I also added a caveat to it and said, I tweet a lot of things every day. Sometimes I'm on my phone. Sometimes I voice text.
That does not justify accusing.
Well, then guess what? Then arrest me, David. Then David, arrest me. I think the guy you voted for not only is a liable sexual abuser, but I think he's done some horrible things.
I don't know, Brian. I think you're trying to hold this standard to this
to the president.
The president, right? You keep utilizing that argument every time. Well, he's the president. He's the president, right?
Sure.
But like, if you are not careful with your words, then why does anybody else?
I stand by it.
Yeah,
I stand by
exactly.
the fact that I believe that Donald Trump. It wouldn't surprise me at all that he did some horrible things to kids. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Just to be clear, you are saying you think he multiple 6-year-olds as per your own.
If I had to guess, I think allegedly he probably did some horrible things to children based on circumstantial evidence, based on all the things that I've seen.
Do you think he raped?
I just gave you my answer, David. I couldn't be more clear.
I'm asking you based on.
And I just gave you, and I just gave you an answer, David. Do I stutter?
No, you didn't. I said, did he? Do you think he raped kids?
Okay,
yes or no?
David, I'm going to speak. David, I'm going to speak very slowly so even somebody like you can understand. Okay, based on all the circumstantial evidence, which I've laid out for you the groundwork for. Based on everything that we know, and there's a lot, by the way, that we don't know, based on, even by your own admission, his very weird behavior when people ask him questions about Epstein and hiding things, I think it's very plausible for somebody like myself or many others to believe that he might have done some horrible things to children. David, I can't be more clear than that. I answered your question, and you could have a big problem with it, and you could have a big problem, different standards for different people, but you voted for Donald Trump, who literally every day lies to you. But you don't seem to have a problem with that. At least you didn't have a problem enough to not vote for him, but you have a problem with Brian Shapiro saying that it could be very plausible that Donald Trump could have done some horrible things to children. David, I stand by that statement. 702.
I'm surprised it took him that long to pot him down, to be honest. That's kind of a change. It's kind of different. Justin O'Dizzle, thank you very much for the $1.99. Show us your hard drive, Brian. Yeah. Release the Bryshep files. And thank you very much, Potentially Criminal, for the 2. I act like a mewling turd because Trump bad. Yeah, exactly. And by the way, Brian didn't address Sarah's claim about how he holds people who aren't the president to the same standard as well.
221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Spin City News. Do I have that correct?
Hi, Spin City News.
I don't know who that is.
Yes, you do.
I don't know who that. Brian doesn't even pay attention to who he's on panels with.
Okay, go right ahead.
So 2 questions.
Okay, I hope Spin City makes this good. If not, I'm going to skip this.
Questions for you. Do you think that the government should be accountable to fix its monuments and spend money?
That's part of the job of government to do that. In the states, wherever those monuments are, whether it be in Washington, D.C. or any other state in the country, that's basically what they're supposed to do. It's not my opinion. It's in law. That's what they're supposed to do. So if a monument.
Right. So when the Biden era and the Obama era spent $100 million to try to fix something that Trump is and has fixed.
What did he fix? What are we specifically?
Is there a problem with that?
What specifically are we talking about?
We are talking about the reflecting pool. We're talking.
Okay, let's talk about one at a time. Let's talk about one at a time. How's that working out? How's that working out with the reflecting pool? Is that going very well?
Well, it's not our fault.
I didn't say whose fault it was. Please pay attention to my question. How is that going?
I'm paying attention.
Okay, well, you're not, because you just said you're putting fault on specific individuals, which I didn't do. I asked you in general sense, because I guess you want to give an administration credit for it. I don't know. How is that going with
So now, in a general sense, how is that going? So what? Like, yeah, who's vandalizing it, Brian? Is it right wingers? Is it Trump supporters? Or is it left wing wackos like you that are vandalizing it? You know, he's just because like the point is he's trying to fix it, and you libs keep on f***ing it up.
the reflecting pool? Is it going well so far?
It has its problems.
It
like
does.
everything.
Okay, so we agree that it has its problems. We also agree with everything. We also agree that sometimes monuments can be fixed by the government and it's allocated differently in each state. So what was the question that you were asking me, or did I answer
The question is, we spent more money to fix the reflecting pool and fix the monuments. Well,
I didn't
talk.
No, hold on a second. I didn't talk about bitching the money that was being used. I never said that. What I was doing was, and I never said that in this conversation. Sarah, did I say that? What I was doing was I was talking about the embarrassment of this administration with Ron Filipkowski and the fact that it's not going so well. And Donald Trump is you just said, oh, you can't blame it. He was blaming people that were taking pieces of it and were trying to clean it up in some cases. That's what I was mocking that. The fact that Donald Trump, who he's blaming, that's what I was doing, sir.
Sure. Okay. Hi, Sarah. You know who this
Hi,
is.
Sven.
Shapiro.
Hi,
Okay, so now that guy's never going to call back because he just swore on this show. And I don't know who that is. I guess you do, but I'm not going to talk to that guy ever again. I don't know who that is. Clearly, he doesn't understand what FCC regulations are, an AM, FM station. And I basically answered his question word for word, and he didn't like it. So what do MAGA idiots do? They say F you to me because they have nothing else to add to. So thank you for embarrassing yourself, sir, very, very much. Another Trump mushroom gobbler who doesn't want to blame Donald Trump for anything. Oh, it's not his fault. It's nobody's fault. I don't even know why he even asked that. It's like, I didn't even talk about the money that's being spent on it. I did talk about the money with the war. Let's go. Joseph. Joseph is calling from, I believe, Washington. Is that correct?
Hey, Brian.
Is this a game again? Thank you very much, Justin O'Dizzle, for the $4.99. Sarah looks deep in thought, imagining any other way to get on Timcast. Yeah, I know, right? Is there anybody else that has a connect to Timcast, please, that I could talk to so I don't have to deal with Bryshap anymore?
What's up, Joseph?
Hey, Sarah.
Hi.
Hey, I just want to say I really appreciate. I meant to call yesterday. I couldn't get on to tell you it was awesome that you interviewed Hunter. I just want to say listening to your show makes me a better debater with some of these MAGA idiots and mushroom gobblers that I have to deal with, and I appreciate it. And Sarah, it's really nice to talk to you and get on with you. I've learned about you through watching Brian and seeing the panels.
Well, thank you.
Well, that's a good thing. I appreciate
Brian.
that.
Brian, you are our Joe Rogan for our side. Our side is the truth.
I don't like
That's
Joe
why.
Rogan. I don't like Joe Rogan. I'm not
I like this guy. Yeah, Brian. You're a Joe Rogan, Brian. Everyone else is a mega mushroom gobbler.
a big fan. Joe
That's
Rogan.
why
Yeah.
you're the Joe Rogan for our side, the truth side.
I guess I'll take that as
Not the
compliment.
left, not the liberal side, but
Yeah.
the truth side.
I think I think Joe Rogan suffers from short man syndrome, and I think he should stick to covering the MMA. You know, let me say this about Joe Rogan real quickly, and I want to ask Sarah about this. When that UFC fighter called Michelle Obama,
Man, what do you think about that, Sarah? I think it's despicable.
I'm a man, right? And Joe Rogan is sitting there laughing. Now, it'd be one thing if it was on a podcast. I still wouldn't really agree with it, but I wouldn't necessarily have a big issue with it, right? Because I've said some very
You literally
sometimes
call
mean
people
things.
Trump.
Well,
mushroom
no, but I'm
gobblers.
talking about the first lady. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but that's very different, and it's a podcast. But I've said some, I'll be the first one to admit, I've said some derogatory things about Melania Trump, but here's the difference.
I'm not the president of the United States, and I didn't say it on the White House lawn.
It's in front of the White House on the White House lawn. We're celebrating 250, and we should be respecting anybody in that, any first lady in that moment. And I thought it was wrong. If somebody had called Melania Trump a hooker in front of the White House and it was a sanctioned event or something that the president was a part of, I would say that's wrong too, because we should be celebrating and respecting the first ladies, no matter who they are. I felt like that was wrong.
I mean, yeah, if you want to talk about manners and stuff, things like that, I could be agreeable that maybe there's some formalities that we need to respect. But what do you expect from a UFC fighter?
It's not what I expect from a UFC fighter. And I know you're going to say, oh my God, he's going back to Donald Trump again. The Trump administration did not denounce it. There were a lot of people that did denounce it. People that
like
are Trump
Dave Portnoy
supporters. Dave Portnoy denounced it. Dana White denounced it. The White House staffers were asked, hey, do you denounce this? They wouldn't.
There's a clip that I wish was online so I could play it, but it's not. It's from this movie called Screwed with Dave Chappelle, Norm Macdonald, and Danny DeVito. And it's just, it just pops in my head every time I hear things like this. It's like this old rich lady, right? And there was like once or twice in the movie where, or no, I think it was just once in the movie, but Norm Macdonald was talking to her, and all of a sudden she just went, "Who cares?" And I wish that clip was online, because that's what goes through my mind when I hear, how come the White House didn't denounce this? I just think, who cares? Leo Bobea, thank you very much for being a member for 2 months. Vic, where's your Brian bingo card? We can get a bingo in this show. What? Mater with Chatty? Well, that kind of makes sense. Ew, yeah. Well, apparently the relationship is over. She has the ick. Doesn't look like the hard launch of this relationship went very well. But yeah, thank you very much, Leo Bobea. Great movie, Vic. Yeah.
Do it. I just think that's just awful. It's stupid. I just think we wouldn't even be talking about it now if the White House just said, hey, you know what? He shouldn't have said that. It was wrong. Thank you. Now we can move on. Stupid UFC fighter. Nobody else's fault. We can move on. But they didn't do that. And that's why that story still exists now. Does that make sense?
I never even heard of it.
Yeah. It's just, I was there for the fights, and I just thought it was really stupid statement that he made, but at the same time, just denounce it. Mm-hmm. And they didn't do it. And I thought that was wrong. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Yeah, again, 702-221-7283 if you do want to be a part of the conversation.
I was scared.
Let's go. Well, she's known as the MAGA destroyer, so we have to go. Right? Darlene is calling out of Oklahoma. What's up?
Oh, finally, someone on my side. One of my brain dead boomer listeners, finally. Ugh.
Darlene.
Oh, hold on, Brian. 1 second. Hey, Brian. What's the lady's name? I've never heard of her. What's
Sara
her
the
name?
Raging Tomato is what they call her.
Raging Tomatoes. Well, guess what, Raging Tomatoes? Mega Hour is over. We've had enough of it. No, you
Mega Hour.
You like.
I never said I was MAGA.
How old are you? How old are you?
I never said I was MAGA. I'm a registered independent. Yeah, same here. Rachel Wilson says, I heard she drove from the East Coast to Vegas for this. She drove all the way to Vegas? Oof. That sucks. Good to see you in here, Rachel. Oh, my goodness. Wow, with gas prices the way they are, too. Kyle swam the Nile for the $5. Hit the goal. Yes, I agree. Hit the goal, guys. Let's do this.
39. But I never said I was MAGA.
Sweetie, listen. When you grow up and be a big girl, you might learn something, because you are a complete freaking idiot. And I'm telling it to your face.
Wow.
You're an idiot. You don't know nothing. Absolutely nothing. And Brian, these people bashing on you, they could go to hell.
Oh,
back to this lady.
It's what makes the show fun. Darlene, it's what makes the show fun, you know.
In my whole entire life, I never thought I would see another Trump. And then here she comes. She's over here too. She is a complete freaking
She's calling Sara Trump. Another Trump.
Idiot, just like Trump, that don't know.
Well, wait, give her a chance to respond. Give her a chance. Darlene, give her a chance to respond.
Go for it. Go for it, girl.
Go ahead, Sara.
Well, you said I was MAGA. I never claimed MAGA.
You don't know nothing, but you side with MAGA, so why
I didn't say that either. I said I understand their sentiment and their foundations and what they stand on. I said I understand it. I never said I am it.
Your flippy attitude, because you don't know real life. Do you know how many people are struggling right now? Do you know it's because of your side that people are dying over in Iran? You know how many kids got from your side? The blood is on every one of your MAGA's hands. And it's true. You have got me so mad. You ought to be glad I'm not
Darlene,
in
I
the
don't want you to
studio
get
because we would
Darlene, I
have
care. Darlene, I care about your health. I don't want you to get sick.
Yeah,
Take a
you
deep-
probably shouldn't get so mad
take a
at
deep
people.
breath. No,
We'd have a lot better
okay.
conversations
Well,
in this
I-
world today if people didn't get so mad and start yelling at each other.
Physical
Well,
therapy.
I do that every day.
Why did you go to physical? Why did you go to physical? I'm sorry. Let me calm down.
Yeah, I
Why
don't
did
think
you
that's
go
any
to
of your
physical
business.
therapy?
I don't think that's any of
Why
your
did you go
business.
to physical
I
therapy?
don't think that's any of your business.
Well, she Darlene, I don't want her to, as anybody should have to give out their medical history. Only Donald Trump.
Oh, what about Savannah Hernandez, huh? When Savannah Hernandez said she got a concussion, you're like, she hasn't released any of her medical records so we could see. She's a lying grifter. Oh, so Savannah Hernandez has to supply her medical records now, but Sara does it. Oh, okay, Brian. Okay.
Trump should have to do that. He should have to give out his. When he went to Walter Reed, I want to know what happened.
I cricked my neck thinking of how amazing MAGA is, and I just slid it out and just said, "Oh, I must go to PT now."
Well, I mean, I thought I always assumed that you thought that Donald Trump was an extremely attractive man.
Oh God, he's so hot.
Yes, I always assumed that you thought JD Vance was
that orange color. Is
yeah,
just so pretty.
I thought you always
Yeah, I could tell you thought it was pretty because you look orange today. So I thought, yeah.
thought that Donald Trump was strapping, handsome, and Mark Wayne Mullen and all the, and I thought Mike Johnson, who monitors his son's porn. I thought you always felt that way about Donald Trump.
Yes.
Let's go to Tony. Thank you, Darlene, for the call. She's fired up today. Let's go to Tony. He's calling out of Idaho. See, they call in from everywhere. What's up, Tony?
Hey, Brian. I love your show. This
Thanks,
is
man.
like the fifth time I've called in. I want to talk to my sister next to you, Sara.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, I'm just, thank you for your service, my sister.
Oh, he's saying sister, like a general word. I thought he meant like my actual sister. I was like, what? Whose
No, you
sister
are-
is here?
No, listen, you are my sister, and I respect your opinion. You're my sister because we served.
Mm-hmm. No, thank you.
But I
Thank
gotta,
you for your service.
no. Here's the thing: you're supporting the guy that dissed us, my sister. He said we were what, Brian?
Suckers and losers.
Suckers and losers.
Yeah.
He desecrated our land, my sister. How do you support this guy? Tell
My
me,
sister.
what is your reasoning behind supporting this guy?
Who said I did?
dissed
Like,
us.
I'm sorry, Brian. Can I ask you a question?
you-
Did I come on this show and say I support Trump, pro Trump, go Trump, everything Trump? Did I
No.
actually come in and say that?
From my understanding,
Oh God. Sarah just doesn't want to be held accountable now. Now she just doesn't want to be accountable and have to face all the criticism from the callers. Because I mean, listen, like she supported him quite a bit. Like I don't blame people for thinking that she's a MAGA supporter.
No,
is what-
you have.
yeah.
Here. Let me tell you this. Brian has put me in a position where he has spun this narrative. No offense to you, Brian, but this is what is happening. You put me in a position to where you've spun this narrative that I'm some kind of pro supporter. Oh my God.
No, I don't think you are.
Hold on. But that's what
Did
you
you
put.
vote for
Hold
him?
on a second. You
Did
put
you?
me in a position by asking these specific questions that I really don't give a hoot about. Right? I've already exclaimed I don't like politics. I've already said I don't care about them. I've already said all of you are really just foolish for even worried about all this stuff anyways, because it's all WWF wrestling at the end of the day. Go get your land, go homestead, and guess what? You don't have to worry about what some guy says about the military. And you know what? It's a popularity contest. That's all you guys make it to become. You sit there, you over dramatize. He said this, she said that. Can you believe this? Oh my gosh. Woohoo! Guess what? You are contributing to the popularity contest that the federal government does not deserve. Even the state governments, to all the government, they don't deserve that. They belong back down underneath us in that position where we tell them what to do, not the other way around. So you want to sit here and say, do you support this guy? I never said I supported anything, quite frankly. I don't recall any of that. I just said I voted right. How's that?
yeah,
I'm a registered independent, bucko. Okay. Just because I agree with a lot of what Trump says doesn't mean I am. Yeah, exactly. I'm also an independent, registered independent. This guy disagree with everything Trump says doesn't mean that I'm a Democrat. By the way, great spurg out there, Sarah. Maybe we were made for each other. We could spurg out together, baby. Spurg out under the stars.
You
Said-
voted right.
you said you voted for Trump.
Yeah.
my sister.
Okay.
I love
What are you
you
going to do?
to
What are you going to
I
do?
love
Are you
you
going to
to
come
death.
punch me? Are you going to hurt me? Do you want to get mad at me?
I would
Oh my God.
Have I been convicted, bucko? Have I been convicted in a court of law, bucko, of voting for Trump?
Gosh, you know what? This one time in like 6th grade, I voted
Sarah,
for another
Sarah,
person too.
I think. Listen. Hold on 1 second. Let me just give you my thoughts.
This is crazy, Brian.
Sarah said she voted for Trump. I know people that voted for Trump that are not. Well, hold on. I know people that voted for Trump. Some people regret their vote. Some people are not happy with his presidency.
It ruined my family, Brian.
I understand. There's a lot of families that have been ruined. I understand what you're saying. There are all sorts of different people who have voted for Donald Trump. Some people say they wouldn't change their vote. They couldn't vote for Kamala. Some people regret their vote. Everybody's different, right? Case by case basis. Obviously, my opinion is different. The reason why I asked Sarah who she voted for, and the reason why I asked her some policy questions, is because I wanted to give my listeners some background on her political ideology. Even though, yes, of course, she's not, a debater per se, but she's a moderator. But you're still, No,
I hate politics.
Well, you moderate.
I told you.
Yeah, she hates politics. He's not a debater. They're perfect for each other.
I moderate debates. I hate politics. I told you this. I said if you try to do anything political, I'm not interested.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a political show, so I mean, obviously,
yeah. The one thing Brian's been right about all night is that, it's a political show. So what are you doing here on a political show about talking about politics? Then what are you doing there, lady? Oh yeah, that's right. Trying to get your foot in the door to Tim Pool and Piers Morgan. That's what you're doing there. It's just so ridiculous. I don't even care about politics, bucko. Yeah, and I'm not even a debater. We're perfect for each other.
You see, that's why we're talking about that's what I do. It's a political show. Of course, you know.
Sarah, why did you vote for him? Why?
It doesn't matter. It's none of your business. You know what? I'll go call my father and I'll have a conversation with my father about why I voted for Trump. But it's none of your business. I don't care to tell you anything of. I'm not coming to you and asking you when you're in the voting poll and say, why are you voting for this person? What are you doing? I'm not doing that. Are you?
Okay, so I'm not trying to be 2 on 1 here. I'm not trying to be 2 on. I'm not trying to be 2 on 1 here. And I think serving your country is one of the most honorable things anybody can do, and one of the most patriotic things anybody can do. My sense from this phone call, unlike maybe 1 or 2 others, is that I don't think he's, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think he's trying to be disrespectful. He's trying to pick your brain.
No, not at all.
He's trying to pick your brain like I was. Okay, so
no, he said, why did you vote for this guy who da 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 da?
Like, ruined my family.
It's not my problem. I don't care. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care.
He disrespected our sacrifice. He disrespected everything that we did, everything that I had to go through. I went through 20 years before you.
Okay.
I went through hard times. I kill people for a living. And this guy,
that's a you problem. That's a you problem. It has nothing to do with me. Your personal life is not my personal life. So when my experiences are one way, so when I go to the voting polls, I'm going to vote based off my.
I voluntarily joined the army and I killed people while I served. That's Trump's fault.
My experiences. Your experiences are another way. You're going to go to the voting poll and vote for your experiences. What does your experience have to do with me?
Well, I think
we are a collective. We are a collective. I realize you came up 20 years after me, but we are a collective, brothers and sisters. He disrespected everything that we are about, and you voted for him. That's what I'm trying to say is what? I don't get it. He disrespects us on a daily basis, Sarah. Every day. Brian, tell me if I'm wrong.
Are you talking about specifically the military and those who serve?
He disrespects us just by being the president.
I don't speak for Sarah, but I have asked I have asked a lot of people in general that have served, and I think that's a fair question to ask. If you ask someone who served, hey, I appreciate your service. You're a hero. Thank you for serving. By the way, I would say for anybody, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I say, hey, how did you find it in yourself to vote for the guy who dodged the military. You served this country. And if somebody
Five
doesn't, and if
times.
somebody doesn't want to answer that and they say it's none of your business, then they have the right to respond like that. Some people
Brian all of a sudden doesn't want to pod this guy down.
want to answer it. Some people don't want to answer it. If they don't want to answer it, then I move on. If they do want to answer it, then I'm entertained by, picking their brain on how were you able to put that stuff aside, and still vote for him. And a part of it is I don't understand. Another part of it is I want to understand. What is it about this guy that you liked enough to say, yeah, he crapped on the military, he dodged the military, he did this and this, but I do like his policies, or I like, yada, yada, yada. Some people want to answer it. Some people don't want to answer it. But
Sarah, did you serve in combat?
No, I'm a girl.
What?
No.
That doesn't matter anymore, does it?
Huh?
And I was in it.
You're a girl. You never served in combat.
No, I'm a girl, but she was in the Air Force though. Yeah, I'm not. Huh?
So you don't know the sacrifice, Sarah?
Well, I don't want to. I don't
know.
Yeah, you should.
I'm sorry. There's just so much there with that. I'm a girl. Well, so then are you making the argument then we shouldn't let women serve? Is that what you're saying? Did the Army, did the Air Force not let you serve because, did they not let you go into combat because you're a woman? So in other words, are you saying that we shouldn't let women serve?
Probably stop while you are an
I don't
inch
want
ahead.
I don't want to disparage your service.
Yeah, you should probably just.
I don't want
shut
to.
up.
I don't want to disparage anybody's service. By the way, I do believe women should be able to do that. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. It's funny because I had a debate with someone. I won't even mention their name. I think you know who I'm talking.
Yeah, no combat positions. Yeah, but I mean, then why would I don't know
about? I believe women should be allowed to serve in combat if they can pass the physical.
Yeah, I'm okay if they pass it and they want to get through it. But when I was in, I wanted to do pararescue, combat control, but because those were combat based, I had to step down and I could only do SEER. It was the closest.
So so I actually didn't know that. So women aren't allowed to do the combat roles in the Army? I thought they could, but they aren't. Okay.
Thing I could get to pararescue and combat control, so he can shut his mouth now.
No. Yeah, well, I think, I'm not going to take that page and do what, quite frankly, what at times Donald Trump has done. And as I said to start this show, I'm not a fan of Ron DeSantis politically. I don't think he's a good dude. I don't like JD Vance, but I would never on their military service.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that like an hour and a half ago, and I think that's really, really important.
Well, not only that, this guy's more concerned about my voting right and opinion, which is the very thing that we fight for in the military, is for you to be able to have that ability, right? And then you're going to crap on me for having that ability and making that choice. No, he's absolutely wrong. Why did you do
think
this?
I'm
Why
wrong?
Did you do that?
Do you think I'm wrong for questioning people for why they would vote for Donald Trump? Do you think that's wrong?
No, he said, because I'm military, why would I vote? Why? He's basing it based off of who I am and what I am, right? And I think that's messed up because I was in the military and I was willing to do anything for anybody to be able to have stupid opinions like his, right? So it doesn't it's a smack in the face.
I say this on the air a lot, actually, when veterans call.
So creates for the two. The entire show is a terrible look for Brian. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I thought that was part of the controversy. I thought women were in the combat roles, and that's why people were getting upset about that. I thought that's part of it. So I assumed, oh yeah, they're in the combat roles as well. But okay, I didn't know. I didn't know they weren't allowed to. Eric Goss for the New Zealand 5. Brian looks stressed. He should go on holiday to Toronto a few times, maybe interview a few woman cops. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much, Eric Goss. I think they could under Biden. Remember the pregnancy, the suits, the pregnancy suits? The controversies that they are in the military at all? Okay.
onto this show that without them, I wouldn't be able to be on the radio every day. I wouldn't be able to share I say that all the time. Now, Donald Trump might call people like me vermin or, the enemy of the people or all that other stuff, but we have freedom of press in this country. We have more freedoms than most other countries in the world. And I think that's very important. Right. And I thank our brave men and women every single day.
I also don't owe anybody an explanation.
No, I don't think you owe anybody anything. From my perspective, I do a political talk show and I like to talk to people and pick their brain and figure out why they voted a certain way, why they feel a certain way. And if people don't want to answer it, they don't have to answer it. Right. But that's what I do for a living. So agree or disagree.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Sarah served before 2016. Hunter Killer, thank you very much for the 2. Women aren't allowed in combat roles until Obama. Ah, okay. Yeah, because I was like, well, then what's the controversy about them? But yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Thank you very much. No, women can be security forces, basically cops. They were used in transport missions between bases. Okay. All right. Learn something every day.
702-221-7283. Who are we going to do next? Jose, New Mexico. Jose, what's up? We're almost running out of time here, so we're going to go through these quickly. What's up, Jose?
Hey, I got just a couple things to say.
Sure.
Sarah, I don't know. Have you been looking at the chat at all?
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah.
Which chat are you referring to?
Which chat are you referring to? What do you think?
Chat.
Okay, yeah, I'm not looking at it. When I do the show, I look at it from time to time, but I don't have I don't even know where my phone. Oh, there it is. I haven't looked at it the entire show, which is my fault. I
guess that kind of leads into my next point, and maybe that last caller and when Darlene called in, it kind of gets to what I'm going to get at here. Sarah, they hate you. They hate you because you say things that are different. They cannot comprehend a different opinion.
Would you say the same thing about the MAGA? Would you say the same thing? Hold on a second. Would you say the same thing about all the MAGA callers who call into this show every day, or the first 5 callers that called me that were personally attacking me? Would you say the same thing about me?
I would say they can hear other opinions.
So the guy who called into the show, sir, would you like to have a respectful conversation, or are you just going to make?
Yeah,
okay, thank you. Then don't make adolescent noises and don't interrupt me, and we can have a respectful conversation. Okay. Have a nice day. 702-221-7283 is the number to call to. Who's next? I would have gladly given him the response. Let's go to Craig. Craig is calling out of Colorado. What's up, Craig?
Hey, Brian. Hey, Sarah.
Hi.
Thank you for your service, Sarah.
Thank you.
Hello?
Yeah, she said thanks.
Okay, and thank you, Brian, for your stolen valor.
Okay, that's another weird comment. But you know what? Just like the last caller who just called in, I'm not going to be a snowflake. People call in, they don't like me. They're going to say obnoxious, crazy things, and that's what makes the show fun. I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't want people calling into this show every day that agree with everything I say. In fact, anybody who knows me knows, for the most part, I would rather have people on this show that disagree with me. Now, with that being said, making stupid comments and being a jerk is not exactly, what I'm always looking for. Although I will say this, it does make the show spicy from time to time, and I don't mind it. You have to have thick skin to be in this business. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. All right, let's go to Brian. Brian is calling out of Texas. We only have about 5 minutes to go, so we'll try to get to the remainder of the calls quickly. What's up, Brian?
Hi, Brian. I just wanted to thank Sarah for her service. My uncle's an Army Ranger, so that means a lot to me that she would put her life on the line for freedom and justice.
Mm-hmm.
And, I can't really put into words that kind of thing. But you did actually, you, Brian, you were on a podcast where you said you served. I don't know if
all right.
True or not.
We got another clown listening to right-wing media. It's not even worth me addressing that. People have called me everything online, from a rapist to a woman abuser to you name it. I kind of laugh it off, and I don't really entertain that stuff on this show. But thank you for being a very serious.
Yeah, right-wing media. Yeah, he's the one who said it. It wasn't on a right-wing podcast. It wasn't. Someone didn't take something he said out of context. He said he served and his father served. So yes, stolen valor, Brian, which he didn't even address. Justin Martins for the $5 just got here, but I'm guessing he hasn't been pressing her too much on voting for Trump. His caller did, but him specifically, no. And thank you very much, JJ Matt, for the 10. Has Sarah and Brian been dating for a spell? Wait, what? Been dating for a spell, like a witch spell? Probably. Thank you very much, JJ Matt.
Serious caller, sir. Very, very serious. Who we talking to? Jason is calling out of Las Vegas. Hey, Jason, what's going on, man? Love my Vegas locals.
Okay, so number one, we don't want to go back to when it was before Barack Obama because it's called pre-existing conditions. So if a woman gave birth, that was a pre-existing condition.
Mm-hmm.
If you had allergies, that's a pre-existing condition. We don't want to go back there. People were dying with a pre-existing condition. Plus, kids weren't allowed to stay on their parents' medical benefits until 24. So that's number one. And number two, to the Miss Lady, I understand you don't care, but we care. As African American, the man that you voted for, not only was his father arrested for the KKK, he is morally and duplicitously disgusting. And so all I can say is you voted.
Yeah, he lied about serving in the military. He was on some podcast. Let me see if I could find it. He was like on a podcast and he said that him and his father served. And it wasn't, as far as I know, it's not true. And he's not denying, he's not saying like, I did serve, sir. Here, I'll let this play while I'm looking for it.
And you said you don't care. That means you don't care about half of the people in this country. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Anything else you want to add to that? Or
no, you're welcome. Right. He said thank you. I'll say you're welcome.
Next call. Let's go to Vicky. Vicky is next up on PTL. Hey, Vicky, what's going on? Rapid fire here. What's up, Vicky?
Okay.
Hi, Vicky. Go right ahead.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. Go right ahead.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know that was you. Yep. First of all, I adore you. You're always on the side of right. I have to agree with everything you say. Now, I just have a question for Sara. Why do we elect officials into office if not to serve the people?
What did you?
Why do we elect people into office if not to serve?
Yeah, which is why I say you need to minimalize them and put them back in their place. They should be serving us. Instead, you turn them into this whole public charade of WWF, and they end up getting. It's a popularity contest. You got to switch it back around. If people aren't reliable on the
already. Huh? You said that 15 times already.
Mm-hmm.
Can you think a little deeper and find out why it is that we elect officials into office?
Why we elect officials into office? Honey? What do you mean?
Can you think a little deeper?
As far as voting, it is a popularity contest. I certainly agree with that.
But even politics are a popularity. Policies, lobbying, it's all popularity and money. That's all that is. Popularity and money.
Wow.
With some people, it is. I agree that with. I don't disagree.
Show me a policy that can get pushed through, or some kind of great thing that can get pushed through without backing, without.
All right, I found it. So here it is. On some kind of like X space or something. Here's Brian Shapiro saying that him and his father served.
I am white. Both of my parents were born here. My grandparents were born here. I was born here, and I'm American. So April can have.
They fight. Did your family fight in every single war, though?
Actually, yeah, I served as well. My father served.
So we're gonna let you be white. That's fine.
No. Let's be specific about every word, what that means. Every word.
Hey,
what does that
you
mean?
get to be white. You're white, baby. You're white. You're white. You're white.
Well,
April, come on,
so,
you know.
Now let him be white right
no,
now.
He told us.
Yeah, it looks like Brian Shapiro, part of a teens panel here. But yeah, let's hear that again.
Actually, yeah, I served as well. My father served.
So we're gonna let you be white. That's fine.
No. Let's be specific about every word, what that means. Every word.
Hey,
what does that
mean?
mean?
You get to be white. You're white, baby.
So there you go. There is Brian's stolen valor.
Without financial backing.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously,
exposure,
not every bill,
information being out there. Tell me something that will make it through without all of that.
Well, obviously, most bills that are passed through the House are funded, of course. I certainly wouldn't disagree with that. Not all of them, but certainly a lot of them are. It's certainly a popularity contest. Certainly.
Notice how Brian isn't combative with her, though. Like usually he'll be very combative with, even if it's a guest, if they support Trump in any way. This one, he's a little bit more subdued. He's like, well, yeah, obviously that happens, but look, that's what happens. JJ Mad for the $10. Are Brian and Sarah dating is what I meant. Oh, For real, well, no. For real, as far as I know, they're not. We just like joking around about it that they are. But if we're being serious, I haven't heard that they are. It's just a joke. I want to say that before someone decides to get litigious and be like, you better watch it, bucko. You better watch it. Sarah got mad at me because one time because I said that her and Alex PWF dated because that's what I heard. And she's like, you better watch it. Watch it, bucko. That is not true. So listen, now that I know that watch it means I'm going to sue you if you say that again, I want to make it clear. I'm joking when I say that her and Brian are dating, all right? The real Robert Flowers for the $4.99. Robert Flowers is at the beginning of the Sarah saga, and I'm rolling. He will not stop speaking about Trump. Your chat voice calling her a bitch. OMG. Thank you very much, real Robert Flowers. Click a button for the $5. He said kids, and then he said 24 years old. Someone check that man's hard drive. Yes. And proctologist, thank you very much for the $5. What I meant was I served the military when I was working as a waiter. Yeah, exactly. I meant I served military men in other ways. Allegedly, Sarah and Brian are dating. Yeah. Brian would say, you're missing the context. I didn't say served in the military. I was talking about my tennis days. Yeah. Yeah, when he served. I played a tennis match on the base once. And I served. And I was playing against my father. And that's how my father served. Anyway, I think that's about the end of it. So here we go. That was it. That was the beginning and the end of their hard launch of their relationship. Joking, by the way. But yes, it all fell apart quickly. Sarah permanently has the ick, which everyone gets from talking to Brian, man or woman. And Brian, yeah, I think he would still smash, but he's not quite a fan of hers either, knowing that she defended Trump a whole hell of a lot. Brian's chat did not like Sarah, but what do you expect? This is the audience he's cultivated. And the only time Brian got pushback was when it was members of the Coolverse or Panelverse that called in. But when it was actually one of his fans, they tore into Sarah because, well, how dare she defend the Orange Man? Doesn't she know Orange Man bad? We can't have that. What did you guys think about this? Sound off in the comment section below. And subscribe if you really enjoyed.
Hey ladies and gentlemen, did you enjoy that video? I hope you did. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe, or else you're gay. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. I'm just trying to save you from sin. Also, make sure you catch the Cool Stream live Mondays through Fridays right here on my YouTube channel, and make sure you follow me at any of these links down below for everything Cool Vic.